Chief Osceola, portrayed on the Appaloosa pony here, planting the spear. The challenge is placed, accepted. The game is on. Here's Lynn Swann with Coach Bobby Bowden.
Keith, thank you very much. Coach, all week long I've listened to radio stations and read the newspaper. They've been talking about last year how Virginia started with a three-man defensive front, caught you by surprise. What are you looking for this afternoon?
Well, I don't think we'll see a three-man front. We could, but we've worked hard against it. We run better than we did then. And they've been more of a pressure defense this year. They come after you more than I can ever remember.
Their defense is very good. Yours is no slouch, by the way, either. But your quarterback, what kind of game does he have to have this afternoon for you to win?
He needs to just execute. He needs to hide the ball, make good reads, and throw the ball accurately. And then if he does make a mistake, don't worry about it.
Okay, Coach. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. Okay.
All right, Swanee, thanks very much. Virginia won the toss. They chose to kick off. We'll take the kickoff to start the second half. It is a warm afternoon here at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. But there is no wind, and these youngsters are both sides. They're used to this kind of heat this time of the year, so I don't think the weather is going to be anything but pleasant for them. They play on real grass here in the stadium. Rafael Garcia will painted real grass, yes. Will kick off for Virginia, and Peter Warwick is the man they'd like to have it. Coles is back there with him. Warwick has been the man doing most of it. Here's the high kick going deep into the end zone. It's back at the back of the end zone, and there will be no return. So let's have a look at the starting unit offensively for the Florida State Seminoles. Thad Busby, 8 touchdowns, but he's had 5 interceptions after 5 games. In the last 2 games, Clemson and Miami has been much sharper. Chile starting lineups now with the backs and receivers. Warwick Dunn, of course, is on everybody's lips this time of the year. He is a dramatic personality in anybody's football game. He will be very important to the Seminoles today. You will see him with the ball a lot. He's 5'9", 185 pounds. He is a senior, and he is quite a striking young man. He carries on the first play, slants it over the right side and goes for 4, close to 5 yards before John Harris brings him down. The offensive front for the Seminoles features Walter Jones. Walter at 6'5", 290, about as good as you're going to find in college football today. It's a good, solid front wall. Defensively, Dwayne Ashman and Tony Dingle in the middle. They shake the tree, and the linebackers come along with a basket and pick up the fruit. Back goes Busby. Heat zone, and down he goes. Virginia blitzing, and the first hit came from Jamie Sharper, number 33, one of those linebackers.
Well, as advertised, these 2 linebackers are outstanding. 33 is Sharper. Coming from the other side was Ferrier, but Sharper gets there first, and then everybody cleans up on him. But that's the MO for Virginia. Put pressure on the quarterbacks.
The ball comes back on 3rd down to 3rd and 16. It is at the 14-yard line, and Busby hands it off to Dunn, getting to the outside. Good block on the corner. Gets back to about the 23, and he slips out of bounds, and the punter is about to come for Florida State. The defensive secondary, Rondé Barber, of course, is the twin brother of Tiki, but it's Anthony Poindexter who's having a great season. He had 3 interceptions last week for the Cavaliers against North Carolina State. Sean Liss, 6'4", 210-pound senior, one of the really outstanding punters in college football, and good coverage downfield. Number 19, E.G. Green, a wide receiver, makes the tackle. So it was a beauty of a punt, 44 yards, high hanger, a 4-yard return, and we look now at Virginia's offense. As Tom Sherman comes out for the Virginia Cavaliers, make it Ken Sherman. Tom Sherman played at Penn State a long time ago.
Tom Sherman's is dead.
6'1", 207, a 5th-year senior at Charlottesville, Virginia. You can see that Tim had 6 interceptions so far in the season's work. But he settled down the last couple of weeks. His bad game was in the loss against Georgia Tech. He throws on 1st down, and he misses his target. The ball was slapped aside by Renard Wilson. Tiki Barber, everybody talks about Tiki. Once you've seen him play, you remember him because he can do just about anything you ask him to. very durable and tough.
Barber had 311 yards, all-purpose yards, last year against FSU.
He was the story of the game. He's 195 pounds. So it's second down and 10, and Sherman gives to Barber. He runs it over the right side behind Laughlin and Britton and picks up about 4 yards. The offensive front features Jeremy Raley. He's the veteran, fifth-year senior, 280-pounder from Cumberland, Maryland. The defensive front that these fellows will be facing include the likes of Wilson and Boulware that Bob talked about. That defense is managed by the middle linebacker, senior Darrell Bush.
And he is a bright young man that really holds that defense together.
Third down and 5 for Virginia. Ball from their 38-yard line. The ball is thrown in the air. He was hit as he threw. The ball took a high arc and went over the head of Jermaine Crowell. They're kind of lucky in a way. The ball traveled as far as it did. Otherwise, it might be going the other way. Now you'll get a chance to see the nation's top punter, Will Bryce, who is averaging 47.2, which leads the NCAA. That's an average borne out of 25 kicks. 47 plus. First team All-American last year, left footer, and look at it carry. Running all the way across the field, it's Dee Feaster. Can't get to it. The ball bounces and then goes out of bounds. So it was a 47-yard punt, right on his seasonal average for Bryce.
High-ranking Nebraska invades Oklahoma, or Michigan State battles Big Ten rival Michigan. It's game 1 of an ABC College football doubleheader next Saturday.
Welcome to New York. I'm John Saunders. Once again, Northwestern playing come from behind today against Illinois. This is 4th and 5. Steve Schnur to Brian Musso. They pick up the first down. 3 plays later, Adrian Autry, his second rushing touchdown of the game. He has 128 yards. He takes it over. And then Gardner with the interception to seal the victory. Northwestern wins it by 3. Keith.
Those guys are incredible.
And they did it without Darnell on it.
Without Darnell.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Schnur is the guy that's making that team go this year.
That's exactly right. First down, the ball is almost a full yard short of the 15-yard line as Busby stands and has a look, throws, and it is incomplete. And they're lucky to get it back because Rondé Barber was there. And normally when Barber gets that much in front of a intended receiver, he'll leave with the ball.
Now, well, Barber is an outstanding player, Keith, as we both know. Florida State going with a no-huddle offense.
Hubert Williams checks into the ball game, the 286-pound junior from Crescent City. He's the fullback of the blocking back in front of Warwick Dunn. And Dunn takes a pretty good pounding as there were 4 different Cavaliers that hit him at the line of scrimmage.
So take a look at the game stories for Florida State. For Busby, don't have to win the game, just don't lose it. This is a very aggressive defense, and the nation's #2 defense. We'll get back to that.
Busby rolls out to buy time, throws up the field to Andre Cooper, and Cooper's going to have a first down for Florida State at about the 28-yard line. So on 3rd and 9, Busby hooks up with Cooper and gets a first.
FSU has the nation's #2 defense against the run versus Tiki Barber, the ACC's top rusher. So that'll be key here this afternoon. Busby going against a team that leads the nation in interceptions.
Out of the shotgun, Busby with time, goes big downfield. It is thrown outside the intended receiver, Peter Warwick. Warwick had come back inside and had broken loose from the defender Barber, but the pass was thrown to the sideline.
I think that Busby was expecting the receiver to stay to the outside. Normally that's what you do. And he threw it out there, and receiver went inside. But the no-huddle seems to be more fit the scheme for Busby.
Dunn. You can see the Cavaliers have got their eye on him because every time Dunn gets the ball, there are people looking at him. And it may be that Anthony Poindexter is one of those who will function as sort of a spy this afternoon.
Well, the theme for both defenses, as you look at Poindexter, who has been outstanding, is stop the tailbacks, stop Warwick Dunn, and stop Tiki Barber.
Khalid Abdullah is back in the backfield now at the fullback position. 3rd down and about 8. And the pressure's on pick up only 1 yard on the carry, and they'll have to punt it again. So into the game comes Sean Liss. His first kick was a 44-yarder. 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. Florida State from number 2 in the country. The Virginia Cavaliers, who beat them last year up at Charlottesville in one of the biggest wins in Virginia football history. Tiki Barber is back waiting for the punt. It's a mile high, but it's not very long.
Straight up.
He put it right up the old silo. So it'll be a very, very short kick, depending on where they mark it. And Virginia will have very good field position. College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar, home of the Big Mouth Burgers. Lucent Technologies. We make the things that make communications work. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, just what the doctor ordered. And Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. A 24-yard punt by Sean List has given Virginia very good field position. The ball is up on the 44-yard line. Tim Sherman sets him. Barber the deep man. And this is Barber looking to the outside, gets about 3 yards. The defensive secondary for Florida State, Chevin Smith is a man who's having a big, tough season. I mean, this guy will paint your hat when you get in his neighborhood. Byron Capers is a fellow who just shows up every week. James Colsey is a fresh starter today. Saunders hurt himself.
Right. There's a look at Chevin Smith. He was a walk-on and just earned a scholarship last August and has been the guy that's been making plays in that secondary.
Call it 2nd down and 8 right now for Virginia. Sherman comes back, steps up behind the pressure and throws incomplete. 17 was under double coverage. Crowell. James Colsey was the basic defender on the play, the boundary corner, and he did his job.
Well, they had him open for a second, but not long. Virginia needs a big day from their special teams. They're special. They need a big day. And defensively, they need takeaways. They lead the nation with interceptions with 15, and they have 22 overall takeaways. That's including 7 fumble recoveries.
3rd down and 8 now. Go to the shotgun with Sherman. Stepping away from the pressure. Going to try to run for it. He's got just enough room and gets there. By a half a stride, he beats Chevin Smith to the sideline marker and should have a first down for Virginia.
It's a nice play by Sherman to keep the drive going. I think it was Wilson on his side, just getting outside the pocket, picking up the first down.
George Welch, 9 straight winning seasons, the all-time winningest coach at UVA with 103. He's also listed as the all-time winningest coach at Navy. Only Paul Bryant was another coach who had become the winningest coach at 2 different 1A institutions. That's a carry into the middle by Barber, and Florida State is having none of it. They too have their eye on that running back. Here's Swanee.
Well, Kate, you're talking about great defense. You know, the Florida State defense is absolutely terrific. 1.1 yards per play on the rush. Their defense is holding. But look at the Virginia offense. They've been exceptional on the run. Something's got to give today on both sides.
I think the defenses are going to dominate most of the afternoon.
Kicking game will determine this ball game. Sherman down the sideline. The pass is good, is it? Yes. Casey Crawford. And there's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. So hold on. The mark for the ball is down at the 33, but it looks like it's coming back. Holding. The referee is James Knight. The umpire, Bill Wampler, Bud Elliott, the head linesman, Joe Ryder, the field judge, Bill Booker, the line judge, Ernest Cage, the side judge, the back judge is Bob Lloyd.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
So the Cavaliers lose a big play. They had it first down inside the 35-yard line of Florida State. Now they come all the way back to their own 33.
George was a pretty good quarterback in his own right.
He was.
Steve, he was a quarterback at Navy and finished third in the, what was it, the 55 Heisman Trophy voting?
Yep. Yeah. Played with Dwayne Hurt. 22-yard penalty on that last flag. Ball given to Tiki Barber. Had a hold of him, couldn't hold him, and now they corral him and take him down at just about the line of scrimmage. So on 2nd and 31, they don't get much out of it. And tonight on ABC, a special hour of America's Funniest Home Videos on a special night. Then a brand new hour of Coach, starring Craig T. Nelson, followed by Relativity. All tonight on ABC. Third and 31. Barber's the beat back. He's got it.
Look out.
Does not get the first down. It was a tremendous effort by Tiki Barber, but James Cozy got him on the sidelines at the 42 and took him out of bounds, and he winds up about 8 yards short of the first down.
Behind the defense, Tom O'Brien, the offensive coordinator, 3rd and 30 yards or thereabouts, not taking any chances, calls a conservative play. Let me get the ball in the hands of my best back. The thing that stopped this drive, Keith, was that holding play on by the offensive line, and when they picked up the first down.
Yep. Wiped him out. Will Bryce for his second punt. His first one was 47 yards, right about his seasonal average. He wants to kill this one. He gets it very, very high, and he's trying to knock it dead down inside that 20-yard line. It's fumbled by Feaster, but he covers it right at the 15. And so that's where the Seminoles will take over at their own 15-yard line.
Continue our look at traditions around college campuses. Here at Florida State University, there is a locker room shrine for all those people who have won All-America status back-to-back. Ron Simmons, Marvin Jones, Deion Sanders, and Charlie Ward was an All-American back-to-back, but the Heisman counts double. Keith?
Who says? Ron Simmons, incidentally, was a 4-time All-American. 77, 78, 79, 80. Consensus 79 and 80. Used to hold the sack record of 25 here. This is Ulrich Dunn flashing over the 20 and down at the 21-yard line. A pickup of 6 yards by Dunn.
Every team that comes in here, Keith, wants to stop Warrick Dunn, stop the run, stop his production, and force the quarterback this year, especially, to beat you.
Look at that. Texas jumping to a 10-0 lead over Colorado in the first quarter. That's out in Boulder. And off to Dunn again. He loses the first man, got to the second man who locks his legs, and he falls to the 22. 7:27 remaining in the first quarter. No score in the ball game. Neither team is really threatening as yet. Barrier made that tackle. He is a senior from Ettrick, Virginia. 3rd down and 4. Busby's pass for the first down is good to Wayne Messam. And the Seminoles now can move the chains out to the 34-yard line.
Messam is the biggest of the receivers. Florida State, he's 6'4". That was just a little hitch. The corner was playing off, and he picked up the first down.
Rock Preston in the backfield. It's a pass play. Thrown outside quickly to Andre Cooper. It's good for a short gain. They'll mark the ball for a 5-yard pickup at the 39-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Seminoles. At the conclusion of today's game, Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of each team chosen. To date, Chevrolet awarding nearly $6 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Pressure. Pick up the blitz. Pass down. Good catch. He threw the ball where no one on the defensive side could get it, and E.G. Green reeled it in.
Is going to blitz. Number 33, Sharper, is going to blitz. That means single coverage. Great throw and catch.
And And it's first down, Seminoles just inside the Virginia 40. Busby rolls out and lets it go to the corner. Incomplete. Off the hands of Green. Well, he had him.
He had him, but it was a tough throw on the run. It was a long throw. Sharper, number 33. Little delayed blitz. That's a legal hit.
Whoa, that's how you get scars on your chin,
Well,
too.
and that's what Virginia wants to do. Knock the quarterback down. Knock him down. Knock him down.
Second down and 10. Dunn caught behind the line of scrimmage. Preston, rather, caught behind the line of scrimmage by John Harris, a senior from Inwood, New York. He was in that backfield by the time the ball arrived.
Well, the line is slanting for UVA. They're slanting the defensive line. It's mixing up the offensive blocking assignments for the Seminoles.
So it's third down and 12 after that play. And Busby out of the shotgun. Pressure coming. Got away from it. Now throws, and it is incomplete. He threw it out of bounds. Peter Warwick was under it. Now let's check in with John.
Keith, Arizona State unbeaten and marching towards the Rose Bowl, facing Stanford today after Scott Bondurant came up with an interception. Jake Plummer to J.R. Edmond, 31 yards, touchdown Sun Devils. They lead 7-zip. Keith.
Jake the Snake is wiggling again, isn't he?
Arizona State made a believer out of me.
Sean Liss, third punt of the day. His last one wasn't very good. 24 yards up the pipe.
FSU is gradually getting better and better field position. This time they made a couple first downs.
Barber waiting. He wants to kill this down inside the 10, but he's going to knock it into the end zone. He does. So it'll come out to the 20 where the Cavaliers will have it. First down, no score, 5:20 to go first quarter.
Green had a chance to knock that ball back and keep it in play, but he missed it. He could have knocked that ball and had the Cavaliers inside their own 5-yard line.
Look at that. Rutgers won a game. Well, the Navy won. The Army has won. The Academy is doing quite well this season. Coach Jordan very much in Navy football history at Annapolis. From the 20 now for Virginia. Barber. And he's taken down by the middleman, Henry Crockett, on that defensive alignment. So Crockett gets the tackle.
Jackson there got a piece. So look at Florida State defensively, how they rank in the ACC, first and second, everything. But look in the nation, they second best in the nation in total and in rushing. North Carolina is the other team in the ACC that's ahead, the only team that's ahead of them in several categories.
North Carolina might want to be careful tonight out at Houston. That was Tim Sherman to throw. Goes down the sideline with it, and it's too long, incomplete. Good coverage on the play. Crowell going down under the ball. Mario Edwards was right there with him.
And Mario Edwards was with him, Keith, and that's an interesting point. Sherman and offensive coordinator Tom O'Brien for the Cavaliers immediately taking advantage of something they thought was a mismatch. Edwards is a backup cornerback. He's a redshirt freshman. Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, plays a lot of DBs in that secondary, and as soon as Edwards came in, they went after him deep.
Sherman has yet to complete a pass. He's 0 for 4. Rollout gives him a little time, gets his pass away, and it is incomplete. Again, it's intended for the man coming from that same wide receiver position, this time Sean Jones.
Good point, Keith. Get him outside the pocket, roll him out, but still not an easy throw. Good coverage by the Seminoles.
Home folks love it. And here comes Mr. Rice to punt again. The Feaster goes deep for the Seminoles.
Bryce punted 8 times in the ball game last year, and 5 times he had them back inside their 15-yard line.
He's a big, long-legged fellow, 6'5", got some heat, but he got it out. A lot of carry on his kicks. Feaster drops it, bounces right back to him. Now he's looking for a little help, but he's caught from behind. Seminoles will have the ball at about 24-yard line. There's a penalty flag across the field.
That was a 56-yard punt and a 4-yard return. This kid is outstanding. Bryce, the punter.
One of the officials was talking to Dexter Jackson walking across the field. You might have a push in the back. But a personal foul. It's against Florida State. So that'll hurt the Seminoles. Tomorrow, I don't think you want to miss the final round of the Tour Championship from Southern Hills here on ABC. Reason why? Tom Lehman is tearing it up. He's 13 under after 3 rounds out in Tulsa. It's at 3:30 tomorrow Eastern Time. And we're going to have a full examination of his golf bag to make sure his clubs are legal.
Yeah, that's just the way you tear it up, isn't it?
Sure.
Huh? There ain't no guarantee he's going to win, though. But he can shoot 4 over par, and somebody else come in there and shoot 4 under, and that's it. Huh? You take him, and I'll take the field.
All right, you got it.
All right.
This is Busby, and is wide open. Got him right in the crease, and Andre Cooper hauls down his second catch of the day at the 20-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of about 8 yards.
Florida State is starting to do is abandon the run and throw on first down, and that's where they're picking up their yardage.
They get second down and a long one. Hand it over to Mr. Dunn. Abdullah, it is. The fullback gets the rare carry. You know, Pooh Bear Williams and Khalid Abdullah share that position fundamentally, but Pooh Bear is the story in that he cannot keep his weight down to a satisfactory level. He's out there on the field today at about 286 pounds. So on 3rd and a half a yard, quarterback sneak, they pick up their first down.
The fullbacks in this offense, this Seminole offense, never had a very major role. There's a look at Pooh Bear weighing, he weighs about 285 pounds. That was before breakfast, I guess. But anyway, the tight end and the fullback, there's not enough footballs on that offense to get them the ball. Well, they had William Floyd here, was a fullback a couple of years ago, was the #1 draft choice out by the San Francisco 49ers, and he was a fullback and never carried the ball.
But he stepped right in and started playing.
He's been an outstanding player.
E.G. Green made that last reception for the Seminoles. And it's second down and a yard and a half now. The ball is resting outside the 32-yard line. Busby dumps it off. The ball goes to Abdullah, the fullback. And he will have the first down as it goes across the 35-yard line. And here's some news from our studio about Colorado.
Keith, Texas and Colorado. Mike Adams had a 66-yard punt return to help set this up. 3rd and 11. James Brown to Wayne McGarity for the touchdown. They lead 10-zip. Keith.
Oh. Done. Look at that vision. Look at the vision. Now it's a foot race. What a great run. Well, it's done. You got to have great vision to do that. He just kicked his way through the traffic and then turned on the Jets. The extra point try from Scott Bentley is good. It's 7-0 Florida State with 2:34 to play in the first quarter.
Well, the man that's going to lead the play is going to be Bates as the sweep is going to come this way. He's going to get a block. I believe it's on 33 Sharper right there. That's the initial gap. Now watch the moves. Right here, he cuts back against the grain. Now watch, he goes straight. And he's setting his man up right there, cuts all the way across. Big players make big plays in big games. Here's from behind. Number 32 is Abdullah. Nice blocking on the left side.
There's the move right there.
Patience, patience. He's just waiting. He says, I've got all this speed and quickness. I'm just waiting for a little crease. Now he's setting up the next man. Cuts across him.
He's gone. 6 plays, 88 yards. 65 yards on the touchdown run. Dunn now totals 90 yards in the ball game.
Rayner is 44. He almost runs around, takes himself out of the play. That's poor pursuit by the middle linebacker. Rayner. He's off to the end zone. Had a big run 2 weeks ago in their last game against Miami to really get the Seminoles started in that one also.
All right, a big play for the senior as Scott Bentley will tee it up now and kick it away. And the other members of the family who are not here jumping up and down, I'm pretty sure, for Warwick. Harris Wilkins and Joe Rowe are the deep people waiting for Bentley's kick. The senior from Aurora, Colorado, pops it up in the air. Very, very short. Penalty flag is thrown. I don't know why, as the catch was made at about the 37-yard line.
It was fair catch, and he hit him after the fair catch, Keith, even though he didn't hit him hard.
No, he didn't. He just sort of bumped into him.
Now, that's the respect that Bobby Bowden has for the return of
Tiki Barber.
Of Virginia, exactly. They're not going to kick it deep to him.
Wilkins and Rowe back there. Rowe's the man, I guess, that they worry about, too. But the penalty is against the Florida State for running into the man, however slight the bump might have been after the fair catch. But I did not see a fair catch signal.
I think he may have already given it. It was at the bottom of the screen.
I don't think he did.
Well,
but it doesn't matter, does it?
If he did, yeah, he didn't give a real good one.
15 yards, first down.
But the point is this. When you're on that team kicking off and you knew you're going to pop it up, there's a good chance that the offensive team receiving it is going to call for a fair catch, so you should be alert for it.
Yep. But you don't see it enough unless you practice it.
Well, you practice it.
You're not going to think about it a lot. You just don't see it very often. 48-yard line, and Tim Sherman will just put this one absolutely right on the hands of Walt Deary, and he didn't catch it.
Yeah, somebody's got to make a play here now. Sherman, I don't think Sherman's completed the pass yet. He is not.
No.
He's 0 for 6, and that ball was right in the breadbasket. Derry came into the game with 6 receptions. He is the tight end, 248 pounds. You got to catch that football.
The ball remains at the 48-yard line on the Seminole side of the field. Florida State is leading 7-0 with 2:27 to play in the first quarter.
3 punts, 3 possessions.
Handed off to Tiki Barber, pops outside on the left sideline, and he's gone. He's in there. Touchdown, Virginia. How do you do? That's 48 yards for Tiki Barber. Mr. Dunn, I'll see you at the crossroads.
Yes. Dunn has 2 runs in the first quarter, one of 48 for the touchdown, another for 25. Florida State hasn't given up a run that long all year, and those are the first points scored against Mickey Andrews' defense in the first quarter all year long.
In comes Rafael Garcia for the extra point. Left foots it through. Punter and place kicker both use the left foot for Virginia. So the 2 tailbacks, as advertised, delivering in the first quarter.
You got it right. As we said, the great players, there's the tailback. Tiki said, Warwick, if you can do it, I can do it. Uses his quickness. Now, this is not where the play was designed. It was designed up the middle. But he says, I've got the speed and quickness to get around the corner and just make something out of nothing. You got to keep giving the ball to these tailbacks that can do this. Tailback, number 21, straight blocking up front. Right there's a hole. Nice hole right there. Now he just breaks to the left side where he sees I can make big yardage. If he would have went straight ahead, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. But this way, there was a potential to go all the way.
There was no support down that sideline either. Once he got past the angle on that corner and had him beat, he was gone.
Well, he's got the speed to outrun most of that secondary, even though that secondary of FSU is quick. The thing that set this whole scoring drive up, Keith, was that botched short kickoff, and then the penalty was tacked onto it.
Yep. So Virginia now will kick it away from the 35. Rafael Garcia will hit it. Peter Warwick is one of the two men deep on the goal line. Lavernus Coles is the other for the Seminoles. Blue sky in the background, and this is Coles coming out. He's got some speed too. Freshman from Jacksonville. Yeah, he's out to the 27-yard line.
Got one of the top freshmen, maybe the top running back in the nation last year in high school. And they can't get him in the ball game enough at halfback, running back, so they switched him to wide receiver.
See, the Buckeyes have jumped to a 10-3 lead. Iowa got out on front 3-0 out in Iowa City, but Buckeyes have scored 10. They're number 2 in the AP poll. Florida State's number 2 in the coaches poll.
What Bobby Bowden has done, what is it, 9 straight years he has finished in the top 5 in the AP poll. That is just unheard of.
Won 10 games more each of those years. This is Busby. Breaking it up big. And it is through the hands of E.G. Green.
That's a poor throw. You got single coverage. You've got the man open. You got to throw it to the inside of the field to give him a chance.
Yeah, once E.G. lost sight of the ball and then had to turn his head literally upside down to look back and find it.
Take a look. Watch as he's going to go back. He's going to look to our left to try and keep the safety over there. Watch him. He looks to our left. See that? Now he throws it. But he throws it back to the outside. That's poor throw.
Busby throws underneath the coverage to Wayne Messam this time. It's a short gain of about 4 yards. He's now 8 of 13 in the ball game.
It's the passing game, Keith, that has loosened up the Virginia defense, that has allowed Dunn to get that big run that he had on the previous drive.
3rd down and 5 now. Rock Preston is the deep back, or the tailback at the moment. Messam is out. Green is back. Haven't gotten his wind after that long run. Now they'll go to an I formation with Abdullah in front of Preston.
Here they come.
Busby pumps it. He's going to go down the sideline. Going to be caught by Andre Cooper, his 3rd catch of the game. And a penalty flag on Cooper for showing off.
Now watch as the quarterback is going to pump his arm. Watch Busby as he pumps right here. This team leads the nation in interceptions, and when you leave, you take chances, you gamble. They burned the defensive back. Didn't burn him too bad because he had pretty good position. Rondé Barber just didn't get up and make the play.
And a 15-yard penalty against Andre Cooper for showing off, strutting around the field after he made the catch.
Yep, that's a rule that he put in a couple years ago.
After the play, excessive celebration by the offense, 15 yards.
Well, they see it on Sunday, and they mimic it on Saturday.
Yeah, well, it was getting a little bit going too far in college football, and I think that's something you haven't seen the last couple of years since that rule was put in. And Bobby knows it, too.
You got to holler a little bit, though.
Oh, yeah. Florida State, the most penalized team in the ACC.
Rock Preston, the deep back. He's got it and falls over his own man. As he was looking to cut to the outside, he got tangled up with the center, Kevin Long, and went down. Home folks are hooting about the call, but that's very definitely in the rule book, and it's very strictly enforced.
Oh, it is. And it was. There's no question that it was the right call.
2nd down and 8. To the sideline. That's a good catch. E.G. Green, and he's piling up some catches today. Cooper and Green. Cooper with 3 catches, and E.G. Green with 3 catches.
A nice job on the offensive line and picking up the stunts of Virginia. This offensive line has lost 3 starters from last year.
Coming up on the end of the 1st quarter. 7-7 ball game. Warwick Dunn a 65-yard run. Tiki Barber a 48-yard touchdown run. Busby clutched and sacked back at the 48-yard line. It is number 42, James Farrier, who got his feet. Tony Zingle brought the inside pressure, but it was Farrier who took him down. And we've come to the end of the first quarter of play. And after one in Tallahassee, it is Virginia 7, Florida State 7.
As you've just seen, Ohio State leading Iowa 10-3. Here's how it happened. Nick Gowery's punt is blocked by Rob Kelly. Kevin Griffin falls on it in the end zone for the touchdown to make it 10-3. And Ohio State has just added another touchdown. We'll let you know about that one. Right now, Keith, let's take it back to you.
Well, the Buckeyes look like they might handle this trip to Iowa, but I'll tell you what, there's quicksand out there for those Buckeyes. They've had some trouble over the years in Iowa City. All right, second down and 19. The ball is on the 48-yard line. As we go to the second quarter of play and a 7-7 ball game in Tallahassee. And that pass was intended for Messam, thrown way behind him. And the only person that had a chance to catch it was Joe Rowe, the quarterback for Virginia.
Take a look at the numbers after the first quarter. Look at the number of passing yards for UVA. They haven't got off 0 yet. That's a key. Tim Sherman needs to start doing something. 117 passing yards for FSU and 2 turnovers in the first quarter by no turnovers, but 2 quarterback sacks for UVA.
Third and 19. Busby. And he threw it before he crossed the line. Touchdown, Wayne Messam. Bolt.
Take a look from behind the defense. It's a great play by Busby to keep it alive. Nobody's covered. Now step up. Don't give up on it yet. Look downfield. And before he crosses, he gives Messam a chance. Throws it downfield. Messam screens off the defensive back. That's Rondé Barber. That's one of the best. No, it's Rowe, 18. Makes a nice catch.
48 yards on the touchdown play. Bentley's kick is good. And 14:49 to go in the first half. The Seminoles jump back into the lead by 7.
The monsters are a-coming. It's sure to be a fright. The Bears try to scare the Vikings Monday night.
One of the stories of the ball game right here. Thad Busby making the plays. Tim Sherman is yet to get started.
You can tell who's making the plays. He's the one talking.
Yeah.
Public address announcer just announced 3-0 Iowa score. Got a big roar from the crowd. Somebody ought to tell him it's 17-3. Well, Florida State concerned about what happens to Ohio State because they're second in one poll and Ohio State is second in the other poll. That's why the interest is there. On the 35-yard line, Scott Bentley will kick it off for the Seminoles. And it's a good one. All the way beyond the field of play, and here's Swanee.
Well, Wayne Messam caught that touchdown pass, but, you know, outside of football, he's got his own website on the internet. One of the person he's talked to is Tiki Barber. And I asked him before the game, what do you guys talk about? He says, hey, we talk about each other's game. We critique each other. It's very positive. There's no trash talking. But I have a feeling when Tiki goes back to that website, he won't have to critique that touchdown play. See?
How do you trash talk on the web?
I don't know. Hey, that's pretty good for you, talking trash and websites and all that stuff. You know about that stuff?
Not really. Tim Sherman throws on the ground, incomplete, intended for Demetrius Dotson. Sure he had those. Who's the computer person?
She's into it, huh? She'll get you going. Somebody needs to get Tim Sherman going. They just cannot expect to beat Florida State without having some production out of the quarterback.
Colorado's gotten on the board now. Over against Texas. Charles Kirby and Tiki Barber in the backfield now for UVA. And this is Barber. And they handle him a little better this time as he cuts back inside the tackle and picks up about 3 yards on that play.
Number 20, James Holsey, and number 44, Darrell Bush. Make the defensive play.
The 3 scores in the game so far. Florida State, Warwick Dunn, a 65-yard touchdown run. Tiki Barber, a 48-yard touchdown run. And then Busby on a 48-yard pass play to Wayne Messam. And the Seminoles lead it 14-7. And Sherman pumps it and now lets it go. It's too late. He had a man, but he didn't get it there in time, and it is incomplete. Double coverage by the time the ball got there, intended for Sean Jones. Samari Roll knocked it away.
Samari Roll, number 2, was a pump fake, and he was not fooled a bit. That's an outstanding play. His foot was not in bounds, or was it? Yes, it was.
It was in bounds, yep.
I don't know whether he was juggling. The official was right there.
He didn't have possession.
He may not have possession, but that was a hell of a catch.
They need a big one here from Will Bryce. Dee Feaster waiting for it. The nation's leading punter. Left puts it out, and they got a good one.
Unbelievable.
Holy smoke. Feaster is bobbling it and has to fall on it all the way back on the 14-yard line. That is a 60-yard punt when they desperately needed it, and a -1 on the return. Wow. Next Saturday, here's what we've got for you here on ABC Sports. Nebraska at Oklahoma, Michigan State at Michigan. And then it's a smorgasbord. Northwestern at Penn State, Washington, USC, Maryland at Clemson, Baylor at Texas. So that's all on ABC next week. Check your ABC station or your cable operator to see what he might have. Watch the punting form of Will Bryce. Steps up in between the pressure.
Leads the nation in punting, averaging over 47 yards.
Did you have that kind of form, Bruce?
No, sir.
Handoff is inside to Warwick Dunn. And he'll handle it for a couple of yards.
Bobby Bowden was telling us yesterday about Will Bryce, the punter for Virginia, last year's game. He said he just backed us up all day long. He says it was the best job of punting he had seen in a long time. And I think he punted 8 times, and 4 times it was inside the 15-yard line, 4 or 5 times.
You notice now that Bobby is not wearing a headset. Busby's in trouble. Virginia had a shot at it. And they got it. Todd White looked like the man that covered it. And so the Cavaliers make a break for themselves.
It's going to come around from the outside. The ball comes loose. Busby never saw it.
Travis Griffith got him, I think.
He's just going to come around the outside. Busby's looking to his left. Good pass rush. That's a big turnover, and that's what Virginia has lived on all year long.
First and goal at the 6-yard line. And Aaron Brooks is in at quarterback. Aaron Brooks gives it to Tiki Barber. And he is just short. Nobody's arms wearing a striped shirt is raised.
I think this is a good move, Keith. Here's a look at with Virginia. 23 takeaways are the 3rd most in the nation. And 62% of the points that Virginia has generated this year have come off of turnovers.
Second down and goal. Brooks at quarterback. Now over the top. There's your touchdown. The arms are raised toward heaven on the edge of Hallelujah Land. The Wahoos are in there for a touchdown.
Well, I think it's a good move, Keith. Sherman wasn't playing well. Put Brooks in there. Let him go. They've used this 2-quarterback system some this year. It's not this is the first time that George Welsh has ever used it.
What is George upset about? He's hollering at somebody. So the Cavaliers have answered. Florida State's 48-yard pass run play for the touchdown. They do it, converting a turnover. Now the extra point try from Rafael Garcia with Tim Sherman holding. Dylan Taylor snaps it. It's good. At 12:37 to go in the first half. We're even again at 14.
Well, it's the defense that has done this all year long for the Cavaliers. Knocking the ball loose, getting a turnover, setting up the offense, and getting them in the end zone.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And the Lennox Complete Heat System. Home heating plus virtually unlimited hot water from the company you trust. We started to tell you a while ago that Bobby Bowden is no longer wearing the headset on the sidelines because he is not calling the play. He has turned that over almost entirely to Mark Richt, the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, because when you're running that no-huddle offense and the way things are happening so quickly on the field, from the side of the field, you just can't see enough to make those calls. Yeah,
and he was calling a few plays every now and then, like he'd go in and say, hey, let's run this reverse, Mark, and it was take Mark way out of sync, and the reverse wouldn't work, and then he'd call another play. And so Mark Richt finally went in and talked to him after the Miami game, and Bobby's reaction was great. He says, Mark, after hearing what Mark had to say, he says, you know, you're right. He says, why did it take you so long to come in? He says, I think you're exactly right. He says, if I were you, I would have come in about 3 or 4 games ago.
The kickoff will be handled now by Will Bryce, the punter. Want a little more? Look at this. He got a spiral on that thing.
Into the wind.
All the way back down to the goal line. And here comes Elias Foles having a problem getting it back to the 8, and that's it.
Unbelievable. We mentioned at the opening how good the special teams were for both teams. I think Virginia may have the best special teams in the country. Certainly the 2 kickers are outstanding. The coverage teams are unbelievable, and as we mentioned, they have 4 touchdowns on returns this year. But their offense has been struggling. That's why the other ones have to play better.
I think Will Bryce just looked at the football and it spirals.
Yeah, well,
he hit that thing off the tee and got it to spiral all the way to the goal line.
They had to cut through the wind.
So they've got the Seminoles in very poor field position for this snap on first down from the 8-yard line. A 14-14 ball game. 12.5 minutes to go in the first half. And Warwick Dunn is the deep back. Abdullah in front of him, and number 44, Wally Rayner, the middle backer, just nailed him. Hat right on the numbers.
What they're doing up front is slanting a lot, Keith. Watch as the defensive lineman here, they're going to slant this way. Here's Rayner. He's just going to come around, and when the play, watch the 2 linemen. They slant to the left. Rayner moves over. What that does is mess up the blocking assignment.
It'll mess up your body, too, if you take too many of those fellas. Abdullah carried on that play and got it out to about the 10 before Jamie Sharper makes the tackle. So the Virginia defensive unit now beginning to step up and look a little sharper. Jamie, like?
Yep.
Sorry. 3rd down and 8. And he was caught behind by number 91, Todd White. Never got on track. Now, Todd White, believe it or not, is from Baton Rouge, which is also where Warwick Dunn.
Back their teammates, their high school teammates.
And he kept him from getting loose to the outside and possibly breaking the big run. Now, the Seminoles need a big kick from Sean Liss. See what he can produce. No.
Liss was looking forward to the competition between the 2 punters. Liss was. But certainly in this ball game,
well, he's had a 24-yarder, and this one is only 15 yards. So twice now, Sean Liss has failed to come up with a big kick when they needed it.
And look at the field position that UVA is going to have out of this one.
It'll be first down at the 24-yard line with 10:57 to play in the first half. It looks like somebody's called the time here. Something hold us up because Virginia has gone back to the sidelines for another meeting. Now they're summoned back by the referee, James Knight. Aaron Brooks is the quarterback. Brooks is a sophomore from Newport News, 6'3", 195. Anthony Southern is in the backfield for the first time today as well. Handed off. It goes to Southern, who's a 215-pound freshman from Whiteville, North Carolina, and he runs into Henry Crockett, and he stops a yard short of the line of scrimmage.
Crockett is second in tackles on this defense. This defense has been outstanding this year. Last year, Mickey's defense ranked 36th in the nation. This year, they ranked number 2. Plays a lot of players.
Second down at about 12. We've got about a 2-yard loss on that carry. Brooks gives it away, and Southern gets inside the 25 and is taken down at about the 22. Darrell Bush, number 44 in the red shirt.
Bush is an outstanding middle linebacker. He is the brains of that defense. He made a 3.96 this summer grade point average, and that is the first time in 4 semesters that he didn't make a perfect 4.0.
Senior academically, is he, but a junior eligibility?
Yes, sir.
Third down now and 7. Brooks drops.
Here they come.
And they get him. And it's number 11, Dexter Jackson. A blitzing free safety. Rafael Garcia is into the ball game. This will be marked just outside the 35. It'll be a 45-yard field goal try out of the hole of Ken Sherman. It's on its way, and it's no good.
Garcia is the other outstanding kicker for UVA. Came in, he had hit 10 of 12. He was a preseason All-American, and this one is just outside the left upright.
He probably figured it hooked back a little bit from his side, but it didn't. Today's Marriott moment. Take us back to November 2 last year. UVA leading 33-28. Time running out. They have to stop Warwick Dunn. They do, just inches short of the goal line. And they upset the Seminoles, called by many the biggest win in UVA football history. Down here in the lair, they are even at 14-14 with 8:43 to play in the first half. The missed field goal gives the Seminoles the ball back on the 29-yard line, and here comes Warwick Dunn, slicing his way through the middle and getting it out to about the 34 before he is brought down. Well, here's a bit of news to go along with today's fiesta. It is the second largest crowd in Florida State history at Doak Campbell Field, 80,237.
Since they put the addition onto this place, huh?
Yep. This is Dunn being hit at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He'll get about a yard on the carry. Here's 20.
Keith, we're talking about the FSU offense, and with the exception of Oregon's big run play, all their success has been through the air, and Ronde Barber has 15 interceptions. That's important to note because the University of Virginia has an NCAA record 35 consecutive games where they've come up with the INT, Keith.
3rd down and 4. Pretty good looking Virginia football here. The ball is thrown down the middle. The pass is caught by the tight end Melvin Pearsall, and that should be enough for the first down. You were talking about the stadium expansion. I'll tell you one thing they didn't expand. They didn't expand the television facilities.
You mean the booth here?
Yes, pretty tacky.
Kind of narrow.
And up and down.
You'd think if they're going to build a nice new stadium, they'd take care of the folks.
Well, you think that we ought to quit bringing so much money. Maybe they'd rethink it. Put it at the 44-yard line, and pickup is going to be about 5 yards on that play. E.G. Green in front of Joe Rowe. Second down, call it 6. As he turned it loose, and the man who hit him was Shannon Taylor, a redshirt freshman from Roanoke. You know, and the backup people on George Welch's football team, a lot of them are very young people.
Yep. Oh, well, we were talking to Mickey Andrews yesterday, and what was he saying? He's talking to a high school coach up in Georgia, and he had Valdosta had won about 20 championships over a period of time. He says, "How do you do it?" He says, "I coach next year's team this year." Meaning I play a lot of players, and that's what both teams do.
Busby buys time and throws an interception. Intercepted by Shannon Taylor, the man that busted him one just a moment ago. So Taylor comes up with a wounded goose as Busby rolled to his left, never got himself squared to throw the ball, and Virginia's cooking.
That's the 36th straight game that Virginia has intercepted a pass. Rolling out to get a little bit more time. He just doesn't get that ball up.
Nope.
Ronde Barber was there to pick it off if he did. And this is the 3rd straight time that Virginia's going to take over the ball in FSU territory. Well, it's not really in their territory. It's about on the 50-yard line. Great field position 3 times in a row.
Brooks is still your quarterback. Back to throw it. Lets it go. Passes it in front of the intended receiver, Tiki Barber.
Well, the quarterbacks for UVA have yet to complete a pass.
The crowd can relax now because Ohio State has jumped out to a 31-3 lead over Iowa in Iowa City. So I don't think the AP poll is likely to change much, regardless what happens here.
Coming in, Brooks was 47% completion. UVA quarterbacks are 0 of 9. And still tied in this football game.
Caught from behind. And it's number 58, Peter Boulware.
Boulware leads the conference in sacks with 10. He's just working over there around Krasuski. That's the first sack for FSU here today.
The loss is back to the 42, so it's a 7-yard loss. It'll be 3rd down and 17.
We saw Boulware just pass Ron Simmons. He's now 2nd all-time in Florida State behind Bernard Wilson.
Well, they're going to stay with the pass. And it is incomplete. Thrown hard and high, intended for Jermaine Troy. So they'll have to punt it away, and the Seminole defense does its job.
With the last 3 possessions for FSU, they had 2 turnovers and a bad punt. All of them within the 50-yard line or their own yardage or their own side of the field, and UVA only scored 7 points.
Fisher circles under it. That's a 22. And down at the 28, and here is a penalty flag.
Beastrom return. The stop was made by number 26, Antoine Harris.
Pushing the back, foul is against Florida State. That'll back them up to the point of the foul. And here's Johnny.
Coming up on Valvoline Halftime 96, all the day's scores and highlights. Number 2, Ohio State in action, as is number 3, Florida State. Todd Blackledge standing by with our crack staff, headed up by Brian Hyland. They'll bring you all the important facts, all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 96.
This is the 9th possession for Florida State. The 9th possession and the 7th time they've started inside their own 20-yard line.
And they've got 5:49 to play in the first half. Warwick Dunn with the ball is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Shakes one off and got away from him. Number 33, Jamie Sharper, had a piece of him behind the line of scrimmage, but Warwick ran right through that. Won't arm tackle him. 13 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
Of course, he got a lot of it on that one big run.
40, what was it? 65 yards. Got it again. Oh, my goodness. He was within a breath of leaving town. John Harris, number 98.
Take a look from behind the offense. Bates is 65, 51 is Kevin Long. 22, Williams does a nice job. You just have to wait and react, see where they're going.
Not again. He is an exciting football player.
He's gained over 1,000 yards the last 2 seasons at FSU. And the amazing thing, Keith, in his career, he has caught 115 passes. Not only is he a good runner, but he is an excellent receiver.
And a good person. The man survived a lot of travail. If he makes 1,000 yards this season, he will join Amos Lawrence of North Carolina and Ted Brown of NC State as the only others in the ACC to do that. Not much going on that play. In fact, there's a loss of about 2 yards back inside the 30 to the 29. Jamie Sharper again. And Patrick Kearney, number 58, the big fellow right there.
Sharper leads the team in tackles. In fact, you see Dunn coming off. Sharper is number 3 all-time in tackles at UVA. He's been around there for 5 years, and he's made a lot of tackles.
Busby throws a hook, and it is good, but it is short of a first down. On the second and long, second down and 13, he nails E.G. Green with it. So they'll be looking at 3rd and about 3.
This no huddle, you don't have a lot of time to do anything. Talking with the coaches, they feel like Busby may operate a little bit better with this hurry-up offense.
Staying in the shotgun. So 3rd and 3. Long time and swings it out to Rock Preston. The ball was thrown softly and thrown behind him a little bit, and he couldn't make the catch.
That is not an easy throw when the running back is going away from you, but it's one you have to hit. That should be, you should work on that all day. That was good enough throw that he should have caught it.
Now Sean Liss, who has had 2 bad punts in a row, trots onto the field for the Seminoles. Tiki Barber is waiting for it. And this time Liss got a hold of it. Thursday evening on ABC, Miss Gordieva, I'm not even going to try the first name, and Rudy Galindo will compete in their first pro singles skating event. They joined Christy Yamaguchi, Katarina Witt, and Dorothy Hamill in the prestigious U.S. Pro Figure Skating Championships on ABC here at 9 Eastern Time. That sort of reminds me of Ara Parshikian one time when we were doing a game and we had Manu Tuiasosopo come into the ball game. And I turned to Ara and he looked at me and said, "Big fella." Just made
The big fella.
Big fella.
He wasn't going to jump on that one.
Tim Sherman checks back in at quarterback now. And pitches the ball. Tiki Barber weaving his way through the traffic, spins for about 3, and he goes down. After the punt, the Cavaliers got the ball at their own 20.
Tim Sherman's back in, Keith, and I think this was good to take him out of the ball game, set him down, let him watch from the sideline, and then bring him back in. What they need to do is throw something simple and easy to get him going. They need a completion, maybe to a back or to a tight end. There's Brooks on the sideline. But they need to get the quarterbacks going with something easy, a completion.
So both Warwick Dunn and Tiki Barber now have gone past 100 yards here in the first half, and here's Lynn Swan.
Warwick Dunn, number 28, just walked into the tunnel. He headed into the locker room. He has sprained his left ankle. He hobbled off to the sideline and worked him on the bench. They're going to ice it down, but I'm being told they expect him to return in the start of the second half. They felt with 3 minutes to go in the ball game that they just didn't want to leave him on the field, Keith.
That's probably where he sprained the ankle right there.
First down. Sherman looking around and fumble. Ball is covered by the Seminoles, looks like. But there's a white shirt somewhere in the middle of the melee, and who's got it? Looks like Tiki got it back. Got a good bounce and came right back to him. So they were within a half a football of losing that thing.
Watch Wilson, number 55, Renard Wilson. He's just going to come around. That's Williams he's going around. Watch, he slaps this ball loose. Nice play by Wilson.
Now, there are two Seminoles there, but you see Barber diving for it.
Tiki Barber, very aware.
One more time, saves the day. Second down and 10. And this is Barber stopped at just about the line of scrimmage. Maybe a little less than the line of scrimmage. Julian Pittman, 278-pound junior from my favorite city in Florida, Niceville.
All right.
You got a timeout, Florida State, 107 to play in the first half. 14-14 tie. Tiki Barber has 103 yards in this first half of play, and he has run for 100 yards or more 3 straight years against these Florida State Seminoles, and he's the first person ever to do that.
They had not given up 100 yards to a running back since last year,
yeah.
And they played Tiki Barber. They only gave up an average of 44 yards rushing per game coming in today.
Well, Florida State next Saturday has to go up to Atlanta and play Georgia Tech, and it was in Atlanta where Virginia lost their game, 13-7. Tim Sherman back, pressure coming, gets it away, and it is finally a completed pass for the Cavaliers to Jermaine Kroll up at the 44-yard line of Florida State. And Sherman was busted just as he let it go, but he got it there.
Yeah, he did, and it's a completion, and it gets him started, but he should have gotten it there a lot quicker because Crowell is open. So he's open now. Get the ball there. Get the ball there. Plenty of time for the defensive back to recover, but that's a start. Here's a look at the schedule. Have to go to Georgia Tech. Southern Miss is not going to be any walk in the park. And of course, the big game at the end of the year right here against Florida.
It's here in Tallahassee this year, and it's scheduled for ABC television. Noontime on the 30th. yourself a cushion right now. Get ready for it, because it wants to be a pretty good one. Ball is on the 45-yard line, just barely inside the 45, where they've got their first down. 1 minute exactly to play in the first half. They would dearly love to untie it. Timeouts remaining, each team with 2, and they've got a very good field goal kicker, Rafael Garcia, waiting on the sidelines. He missed from long range a little while ago, but if they could pick up another 20 yards or so, then they would be well within his range. And the kick would go into a bit of a swirling wind, not very much wind, but enough to probably impact the ball if it's slightly offline. So first down, Sherman, the quarterback. Oh, there's a block that picked up Wilson, because he was coming, he had him in his sights. And the Virginia quarterback is on the ground. Number 45, Henry Crockett, hit him as he threw, and Sherman is hurt. The big block came from Trevor Britton before Renard Wilson got there, but they couldn't get Crockett too.
Crockett, one of the linebackers, coming on a blitz. He messed up on the blocking assignment. That's Britton there, but
45 is Crockett.
Yeah.
That's right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, he
just knocked the wind out of him.
I think he gets the wind knocked out of him. Quarterback's rolling this way. Crockett just going to attack. You've got to have the wind knocked out of him.
His shoulder looked like it was right into his stomach. So that'll take the air out of you. And 55 seconds remain in the first half of play on a bright sunny day in Tallahassee, Florida. The crowd in a festive mood. Their team highly ranked, highly regarded. Homecoming weekend.
It's a beautiful new stadium, isn't it? Just done a nice job with it.
Well, I'll tell you, all the Gator writer, columnists around the state are giving them the business about it. It's been quite a running feud. I am going to file a petition, however, to see if we can't get the television booth moved.
Yeah, we got people all over the place here.
Our statistician is sitting, Mark Amento is sitting at a different level.
We got guys all over this booth.
45-yard line, second down and 10. Pass complete. Crowell. Jermaine Crowell, junior out of Winston-Salem, makes that catch. He's finally now finding the ball when he is open. They've been late. Now you've got a Seminole shaken up on the field. And it's number 95. That'll be Julian Pittman. There are no lollipops down there today, folks. Every yard of grass you get, you've earned it. A little easier schedule in front of Virginia. They're at Duke in Durham next week. Then they have Clemson at home, North Carolina at home. And I think that's a very important ball game for them to have the Tar Heels in Charlottesville. Then they have to go to Blacksburg.
I think that's an easy remaining schedule, do you?
Well, I don't think that trip to Blacksburg is any easier, I'll tell you.
I bet you're right there.
Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, we're talking about impressive ball players. Number 58, Peter Boulware. We know how impressive he is on the football field, but his whole family has some great credentials. His brother plays for Georgia Tech. He is an engineer in Atlanta. He's got a sister that went to Notre Dame, ran track, and she's in med school at Wake Forest. His father specializes in radiation therapy for cancer patients. And he is a top-notch student here at FSU himself.
He's also a disruptor. He's a tough customer at that defensive end position. Aaron Brooks is your quarterback. First down for the Cavaliers. The ball at the 31-yard line. Brooks looking around. Better get rid of it. Let it go, and he misses Crowell. Got a little bit of temper flare here. They'll handle it.
The reason that UVA is having so much trouble completing passes is obviously tight coverage by the Seminoles. They came in only given up 160 yards passing per game. It looks like Sherman on the sideline is back and ready to go.
Second down and 10. 45 seconds to play in the first half. Brooks gives to Barber. Tiki breaks it. Picks up 9 yards. He got past the first man. Almost popped out.
Crawford says he has the fumble, but I don't think the officials are going to agree with him.
Now it's timeout, Virginia. Score a moment ago. Alabama has gone to a 3-0 lead over Tennessee.
Take a look from behind the offense. Lachlan is 52, Britton 63, doing a nice job right in the center of that line. I didn't see no ball come out.
Virginia now with 1 timeout remaining. You know, I did my first college football game in 1952, Bob, and this is the first time in my life I have ever done a Virginia game. So there obviously tells you there have been some lean times over the years until George Welch showed up.
Yeah, before, you know, that's very true. Once George got there, things seemed to have turned around. As you take a look at Garcia, George, as you mentioned, that did very well at Navy. The first assistant job was with Joe Paterno at Penn State, and Joe, in fact, is the godfather to all four of Welsh's sons, or Welsh's children, I should say. You know, beneath that stoic exterior that he has lurks the heart of a prankster and a dry wit. I mean, he always looks serious, but he's got some fun in him.
Third down and 2 now for the Cavaliers. The pitch to Barber. He's going outside, and I don't know. Depends on the mark. He's got that little extra burst though when he has to have it, doesn't he?
He is a great player, and to see Bush, the middle linebacker, going over there, both of them are determined to make it and make the play. There's a look at Bush.
Won. Bush won by a foot.
Yeah.
Or less. Yep, just about a foot. So that should get Garcia into the ball game at 28 seconds to play in the first half. A 14-14 tie. Cavaliers trying to take the lead to the clubhouse at halftime.
In his career, Garcia has kicked 47 field goals. And as we mentioned, he was 10 of 12 coming in. He just barely missed a 45-yarder.
Sherman is on the field now to do the holding.
10 of 13. Florida State has not trailed in a ball game this year.
It will be a 38-yard field goal try on its way. And good. And with 24 seconds to play in the first half, the Seminoles may very well go to the clubhouse trailing at halftime. 17-14.
You know, the amazing thing about that lead is that Virginia has not done anything offensively.
Except for that one burst.
But the one run by Tiki Barber. Barber has been their entire offense, and it's been special teams, it's been defense, and it's been Will Bryce, the punter.
That lanky fellow walking around there with the red hair, that's obviously Tom O'Brien.
Right. He's the offensive coordinator, and offensive line coach, and just a real nice gentleman.
With hair that color, his name would have to be O'Brien. 24 ticks remaining on the halftime clock. 80,237. My goodness. Will Bryce will kick it off for the Cavaliers. You think there's a whole lot of activity in the UVA Law Library this afternoon?
Well, there is some, I'll guarantee you.
I'm sure there's some, yes.
I say this,
sure
there's more than some. There's more. I had a son that went to UVA, and let me tell you, there are a lot of people over in that law library Saturday afternoon.
Will kicks it. High, high, high. That's not as dramatic as the one he hit a little while ago when he knocked a spiral over the end zone goal line and had it returned. That ball's kicked out of bounds, so they'll probably come out to the 35.
They are kicking into a breeze that way, and that's why they're doing that.
Here's Swanee.
Okay, Florida State, every year their defense comes up with a motto or saying, and they put it on a T-shirt. This is a T-shirt that they wear, and on the back it's a Seminole saying that says, Hadjo, that means reckless courage. Now, that defense has shown a great deal of courage in playing Virginia. They've been anything but reckless. They have been smart, under control, and playing great. However, they are still behind by 3 at the moment.
Lynn, how do you get reckless courage out of Hadjo?
Well, this is, I don't know, the translation is what they're telling me. This is what it is. I don't speak the language myself, but I have to trust them on it.
All right.
I think our license and practice offices will need coffee this morning. The ball is on the 35. They're going to put a knee down and take the snap and let the clock run off. And so your halftime score at Doak Campbell Stadium, Florida State University in Tallahassee at 17 Virginia, 14 Florida State. It has been a very interesting first half of play. Virginia leading Florida State 17-14. The Seminoles jumped out to a 7-0 lead when Warwick Dunn burst 65 yards for a touchdown. Brilliant run here. You got to have good vision to pull something like that off. He found his way. But not much time elapsed until Tiki Barber, the great running back for Virginia, answered with this 48-yard run around the corner to tie the score at 7.
Seems like he saves his best game against Florida State.
Then Pat Busby threw to Messam 48 yards for a touchdown as he scrambled for some room, and it worked to make it 14-7 Seminoles. And then Busby fumbled after being sacked by Travis Griffith.
Defense again sets the tone for UVA.
They had the ball at the Florida State 6-yard line, and then Aaron Brooks went over the top on a quarterback sneak to make it 14-14. A 38-yard field goal untied it, and the Cavaliers will start the second half of play, leading 17-14 in front of a homecoming crowd at Florida State of 80,237, the second largest crowd in FSU history. A line drive to the goal line, picked up by Terrence Wilkins, looking for the wedge, bounces outside, taken down at the 17. Now Lynn Swann.
Thank you, Keith. I talked to George Bush when he went in. He said that Tim Thurman just needed to settle down, and the offense had to pick up first downs. He said, we can't sustain this level of play on defense. What we've got to do is make first downs to keep our defense off the field. On the other side, Bobby Bowden said Warwick Dunn had his ankle wrapped. He's going to try it in the second half. Said the QB is playing well, but he needs his quarterback, just to be able to dump the ball off when he's in trouble. Keith?
All right, here we come with Virginia owning the football to start the second half of play. As Sherman steps up and throws quickly, and he threw a knuckleball, but it's complete to Demetrius Dotson. I would start this second half of play, Bob Greasy, with this note. Bobby Bowden has never lost a homecoming game.
Look at this. Turnovers for Florida State. They've had 2 turnovers, and UVA converted one of those into 7 points. Look at the average starting field position. UVA on their own 46, the 19-yard line for Florida State. That is a huge difference.
Second down and 1. Second effort may have gotten the first down. Maybe.
Did the ball come out?
I couldn't tell whether the ball came out or not. He lunged ahead.
Yes,
Medley.
it did. It was flying around.
And
Tiki Barber again got it. Yep.
Medley was there.
Medley, the fullback, is usually a blocking back. It's Spain, I think, that knocks it loose. It's kicked around.
There's the ball. Somebody kicked it.
And there is Tiki right at it.
So his alertness again. That's the second time now he saved the ball today. And on the first down play, they picked it. He steps on somebody's foot and trips as he gets out to the 30. The first half possessions look like this.
And they did pretty well when they got good field position. About the fourth down, they said own 48. They took 2 plays and got a touchdown. And then the opponent's 6-yard line, they took it in on 2 plays for a touchdown. That's just field position has been big-time key in this ballgame.
Second down and 7 for Virginia. Sherman with time, and now runs out of it. Get a couple of yards.
Tim Sherman on the keeper.
Here's a look at the first half stats. Sherman was 2 of 11, 34 yards, nothing there. 112 yards for Barber in that big touchdown run. And Crowell, 2 receptions, led the receivers.
All out near the 32, where it is 3rd down and 6.
Crockett led the tacklers for the Seminoles.
Those go to dime package defensively. Virginia in shotgun with 3 wide. Nobody to throw it to. Now it is intercepted by Samari Rolle. There was nobody available. Sherman tried to force it in between defenders and paid the price.
First of all, Sherman's got good protection. Nobody. Now he panics. He's got good protection. He sees somebody, but he doesn't see the whole field. He saw his receiver, but he didn't find the defensive backs, and Rolle came back with the pick.
Opportunity coming up for Florida State.
Katerina Gordieva and Rudy Galindo make their pro singles debut in the first ever U.S. Pro Figure Skating Championships, Halloween night on ABC.
Here's the interception. This is Rolle right here. Now, let's go ahead and roll it. He's going to try and throw to the receiver. Now, let's stop it right here. Now, there's nobody open. There's a receiver here. There's a receiver here. There's nothing in the middle of the field. Watch to the bottom of the screen. He's going to scramble. Now, the receiver breaks inside, and Rolle comes back and makes a good play.
And it's a first down for Florida State at the 42-yard line with Warwick Dunn. Tate Thankle and all out on the field. Busby, play action, throws it down the middle. Pass is caught by Melvin Pearsall, the tight end. The Virginia quarterbacks this season have been intercepted 10 times. Sherman 7 and Brooks 3.
And they only have 4 touchdown passes. So 4 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
The gain is down to the 36-yard line. It'll be second down and about 4. Dunn gets behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard. He didn't look all that nimble either.
Here's a look at the possessions for Florida State. They scored on their 4th and 5th possession. And then nothing after that. Had 9 possessions in the first half.
And it's 3rd down and 5 now for the Seminoles. It's still an offense looking for an identity. Defense on both teams been terrific. The offense is struggling a bit.
You have to give credit to the defense for Virginia. 8 tackles behind the line.
Right. Getting good penetration. Busby rolls it out. To the 22-yard line, Wayne Messam. Wayne Messam has been a story coming into this ball game because his coaches said it was incredible that he could drop as many balls as he has dropped. He dropped them in practice. He dropped them on the way to the bed. He dropped them on the way to the breakfast table. And now all of a sudden today, the ball is sticking.
Well, he's inconsistent at best, and that is true, Keith. Let's take a look at the offensive leaders in the first half. Busby was 14 of 23, a touchdown and interception. Dunn had 109 yards. And pretty good distribution as far as the receivers.
First down at the Virginia 21-yard line.
Here it comes.
Busby gets it away into the end zone. Man is wide open. It is touchdown, E.G. Green. The senior from Aurora, Colorado, for the extra point.
Mark Green, after the first down, first play, going to the pass. E.G. Green beats Phelan, number 49, to the back end of the end zone. Makes the catch, the foot is down.
And it's 21-17, Florida State. College football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Chrysler, exploring the new frontiers of automotive technology. What's new in your world? And Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Well, let's see now if the Virginia offense can do something. If they don't do anything to speak of and the defense has to hustle back out, that last play could be a will breaker.
Florida State scoring after the turnover by UVA.
10:37 to go in the third quarter. Goes to the lead, 21-17. Bentley's kick going well into the end zone and will not be returned by Joe Rowe. So the Cavaliers will come out and begin this possession at the 20. And next Saturday, oh, we've got some old-fashioned down-home head knockers. Nebraska at Oklahoma, Michigan State, and Michigan. That'll get you cranked up and going. And then these. Northwestern, which shook the sack and another miracle came out today, will be at Penn State. Washington at USC. Maryland at Clemson and Baylor at Texas. Check your ABC station or your cable operator to see what he might have available. Kim Sherman is the quarterback for Virginia. Hands the ball to Tiki Barber. Barber is hit solid tackle by Chevin Smith, the strong safety. Yard on the play.
Chevin Smith is an interesting story, Keith. He was a walk-on initially at Florida State. He earned a scholarship in August, and it was a scholarship that was a Perry Moss, the wide receiver.
Right.
When he left school, he took that scholarship and gave it to Chevin Smith. He's had 2 touchdowns this year, 1 on interception, 1 on a fumble recovery.
Broken face mask has to come off. Back goes Sherman. Pressure coming. He's down. Boulware. Peter Boulware, the junior out of Columbia, South Carolina. Loss is back to about the 15-yard line.
There's a look at the Seminole defense, the first 5 games, and then today, Boulware was blocked by 2 different men, the left tackle and then the offensive back. This is his 2nd sack of the day. That's the one back, Medley, and then the other back. I don't care how many backs you have, you'll not block Boulware with 2 backs.
3rd and 15. They send Barber to the 17, and they will punt it after Henry Crockett makes the tackle. So they turn it over. The Seminoles stick at the end zone. The defense stifles them. Now they need a big kick from Will Bright. The last time they had to have one, he gave him a 60-yarder.
Well, Will Bright has been the best weapon for the Virginia offense all day. Aside from the run by Tiki Barber.
Well, he didn't get all of it. Dee Feaster calls a fair catch up at the 45-yard line. And so the Seminoles have good field position to start the second possession of the second half. 38 yards on that punt. Shadows now pretty much cover the entire playing surface.
Florida State getting the best of the field position in the second half. Virginia having only 5 first downs in the first half, and they have yet to make a first down here in the second half.
Warwick Dunn is out there again, so the ankle apparently is all right. Pooh Bear Williams, the fullback. Busby sets him up. And that goes to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn will get it to midfield. That's about a 5-yard gain. Stephen Phelan and Rondé Barber made the tackle.
I don't know if he's right from that ankle, Keith. He moved pretty good, but I think when he wanted to make a final cut, I'm not sure that the ankle was going to be there.
In the previous possession, when he carried it and he tried to make a cut, he looked pretty tender. You're right. You got Cooper and Green now coming to the bottom of the picture as the wideouts. Double dose of poison there. Here's the ball thrown underneath to Warwick Dunn. And he'll go down to the 40-yard line of Virginia for a first down.
I take that back. I think Warwick's all right. There's a look at Dunn, the tailback. Play action. He just wants to. He looks downfield. This is just like a long handoff. Get it to him. That's not a real good pass. You want to get it up high where he can catch it and keep moving on it. He had to make an effort to stop and catch it.
7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Busby out of the shotgun. And about the only way that Jamie Sharper was going to get Pooh Bear down was to take his legs away, and he went right for the ankles, and he got him.
Well, he's a fullback that weighs 285 pounds that can catch and is pretty nimble.
Rolling the other way. And look out, but he made the catch. Ron Duggins made the catch, and he got away from Rondé Barber. Barber almost got a hand on it.
Mark Richt is calling the plays for Busby, and he's calling a lot of pass plays because that's what's getting him the yardage.
Ball is put on the 20-yard line as the chain gang finally catches up. Short of wind, but they're there. First down.
Virginia has lived with their defense the last couple of years, especially this year, and they're looking for him to make a play here.
Virginia recovers the football. Pooh Bear fumbled away a touchdown. Rondé Barber recovered it. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Oh, that's not just a bullet, that's a howitzer.
Well, that's why Pooh Bear has not been playing at fullback, because he's been overweight, out of shape. Look at him here. He gets hit once. He spins. That ball, he didn't even get hit. That ball just comes out too easily, and Virginia, again, the defense creates something and stops the other team's offense.
Save the day.
That ball just comes out too easily. Rondé Barber.
And the defense now getting the big roar from the crowd. Thomas Jones is in at tailback for UVA, a freshman from Appalachia. He's getting his first playing time of the day at tailback, and we've got 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. 21-17 Noles.
Jones is a true freshman, number 6, Keith. You can't throw the ball. You're having problems with your pass protection. Your quarterback is not throwing it well. You've got to go in your running game, and that's being stifled.
Sherman's pass to Crowell is good. Or as Mr. Greason says, Crowell. Tomorrow, don't miss final round coverage of the Tour Championship. Ooh, have you not heard what Tom Lehman is doing to Southern Hills? My goodness. 13 under par. Leading, obviously. That's tomorrow at 3 Eastern Time here on ABC Sports. Those of you who have never traveled about Southern Hills, ladies and gentlemen, 13 under par in 3 rounds is phenomenal. Sherman's pass. Walt Deary, and he's got a big play down across the 40 all the way to the Florida State 38, and the crowd of 80,000 plus gets a little quieter.
That was the complete number 87.
Little play action, the fake to the left. The tight end lined up on the left and went across the field to the right. This is by far the best pass play for Virginia today.
Tight ends, I'm telling you, they're the secret weapons all for the tight ends. That ball's almost intercepted again by Samari Roll. He was intended for the wide receiver on that side, but it was Roll who got his hands on it. Looks like Samari wants that job back, doesn't it? Alabama's lead is 7 now over Tennessee, 13-6 in the third quarter.
Alabama's kind of owned Tennessee lately, haven't they?
Except for last year.
Yeah, right.
They got a pretty good woodshedding last year.
Yeah, but before that.
Yep. On second down, passes away, and it is way overthrown. The receiver, Crowell, got out there, made a turn back into the ball, and by then it was gone.
Yeah, they're not even close. Crowell went down and broke to the outside, and Sherman threw the ball way upfield. This was a little stop and go. Sherman, 1 of 10 the first half, is now 3 of 6. 47 yards and an interception, which led to a Florida State touchdown.
Tiki Barber has come back now at the tailback position. Harold Medley is the fullback.
Hubert Williams had that fumble
into the end zone and fumbled it away. 3rd and 10 here. Number 79, Doug Krzyzewski, was moving before the snap on the Virginia offensive line.
Well, he's blocking on either Boulware or Wilson, those two defensive ends.
There's Boulware up there on that side right now, anyway. It'll do that to you after you've watched him go by 2 or 3 times.
Boulware has 2 sacks today and 12 on the season. The record is 12 by Ron Simmons. Actually has 11 and a half. But how do you get a half a sack? I always give him the other one.
Got him. It's Peter Boulware.
That's his 3rd sack for the afternoon. Now he has the record. He's got 12 and a half sacks on the season.
But Bernard Wilson had 28 coming into the game, so he was the first to go past Ron Simmons' record.
Wilson has the career. Boulware now has set a record for the season.
Will Bryce. Oh, the punt. Whoa, not a very good snap. His own man was shot back in front of him, but he got it off. And out of bounds at the 4-yard line. That worked out all right for the Cavaliers at 4:50 to go in the third quarter. And Florida State leading by 4.
On the campus of Florida State is the National High Magnetic Field Laboratory, largest of its kind in the world. Magnets here can help elucidate the molecular structure of proteins that may one day lead to the discovery of new medicinal drugs.
What the heck you know about all that stuff, Len?
Swanee, could I bring the magnet I use for my lower back and get it recharged?
Well, you could probably get it recharged, but when you walk in the building, you have to be careful, Keith. They search you to make sure you don't have metal, so you're not sucked into one of those giant magnets.
I'd lose both my knees. All right, here we go with the ball back on the 4-yard line. They're just trying to wedge it out a bit and get a little working room. It's Busby.
That's the old...
squeezes a couple of 3 yards.
That's the old wedge play.
Yep.
The old quarterback sneak in the wedge. I've run that since I was in grade school or Willard Library in Evansville.
Did your center have hip pockets that you could grab on and hang on
Oh,
to?
the bigger the better. The bigger the better. Felt comfortable. There's Busby, 6 out of 6 in the second half. He's come out hot. But again, Bryce has backed them up inside their 5-yard line to start this drive.
Handed up front to the fullback. Abdullah, and Khalid Abdullah breaks it out across the 25-yard line for the first Sophomore from Davie, and he comes out dragging a leg. Looks like that might be in the neighborhood of a hamstring.
Well, both times they've run the fullback, the last 2 times, this one with Abdullah, and then the previous one with Pooh Bear Williams where he fumbled, the fullback up the middle has been there.
That means Pooh Bear's back. Did they check him for Stickle?
Just don't give him the ball.
Don will have a yard on that one. It'll be 2nd down and 9. 21-17, Florida State. Virginia beleaguered here in the 3rd quarter. Florida State losing another touchdown in the end zone when Williams fumbled the ball away, and Ron DeBarber recovered it.
Well, it hasn't been pretty all year for George Welch's offense. They've been struggling. They lost 3 offensive linemen, their 2 wide receivers, and their quarterback.
Here comes Pooh Bear. He's got it. And he's out to the 31. He is junior from Crescent City. And he has a terrible time getting his weight down.
Bobby was saying yesterday, he says he's a good kid. He says he just loves to eat. He says he's like me. And Bobby grabs his stomach. He says it's like me. He says I like to eat too. He says, but I don't have to play.
I saw you putting away that sawmill gravy.
Hey, I didn't touch that sawmill gravy.
Putting it away, put it in a box so you could take it with you. 3rd down. Pass. Bullet complete to Messam. So Wayne Messam has had a big day. Out to the 40-yard line and the 1st down. 41-yard line. He is a 5th-year senior from South Bay, Florida. I think George now is realizing that if something doesn't happen good for his offense, that his defense is just simply going to wear out.
Yeah.
And it will. You can't play. Defense can't play.
Well, you have to be patient.
45 minutes.
You know, and what he's doing is forcing Florida State to go the whole length of the field.
That pass is well underthrown.
When you back Florida State up with a great punter like Bryce inside their 5-yard line, they may make some plays, they may make some yardage, but if they take 14 or 15 plays to get all the way down the field, you think if your defense is pretty good, which George's is, they'll stop them somewhere along the way. If you start from your own end zone, it's a long haul. Busby, now that's the first incompletion of this half. He told Bobby yesterday he ought to get a jacket and tie on. Looked like an executive down there.
Yeah, well, I told him I'd go by him with that. 2nd down and 10. This is Dye. And he does not have the quickness now with that sore ankle to bounce outside as he might well have done if he were total. And so he doesn't get much out of that play. A couple of yards. They get 3 and make it 3rd down and 7 now.
Total yardage on the right side. Florida State has doubled that of Virginia.
Busby, good protection. Passing. Andre Cooper. It's a big one all the way to the 34-yard line.
Very rarely do you ever see just a 2-man route by Florida State. And the reason you do this is because of pass protection problems. You drop back only the 2 wide receivers. He's going to throw to the one down on the right side. He comes in, runs a post corner in between the 2 defensive backs, and that's a good route to throw.
And 1st down, Old Virginia, 34. Busby back. He's looking for Green. Touchdown. Penalty flag at the line of scrimmage. Thrown by the umpire. Almost certain to be holding.
That's a killer. That's a killer.
That's 2 touchdowns now the Seminoles have lost in that end zone in the third quarter. One on Williams' fumble, and now the holding to nullify that one.
You say it was a face mask on the offense?
Face mask on the offense. Yep. Same as holding. Somebody grabbed it and held on.
Face mask by the offense on the blocking. 15 yards, repeats the down.
Right side of the screen. I don't know. Couldn't see it. But bottom line is, the most penalized team in the ACC is Florida State, and that one takes away a touchdown. They came in averaging 80 yards in penalties per game.
1st and 25 now as Busby throws complete to Cooper. And Cooper is at the 35. Almost where the possession started before the penalty. So they'll be looking 2nd and about 10. The tomahawk chop. They didn't used to do that here. They had the song and all that, didn't they? But wasn't that tomahawk chop something relatively new recently? Warwick Dunn. And he's going to have 3.
I don't know, Keith, about that chop. I know the Braves do it up in Atlanta.
I know that
I don't know whether it started here at FSU first or whether it was in Atlanta first.
Pretty good football game out in Boulder as the Buffaloes have come back to lead
here,
21-17. Yet started here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Long time ago. But they complained loudly about it when they started using it. That pass is completed to Andre Cooper. And his legs will take it around. He goes down hard, but he holds on down at the 23-yard line. Rondé Barber hit him. And so, that should be a first down at the end of the third quarter. We go now to the final quarter of play. Thad Busby stepped up in that third quarter, didn't he? 25 out of 35 now for 316 yards. That is a career high for him. He has a couple of interceptions and he has a touchdown.
This may be the hump.
Other way around.
Yeah. This may be the hump game for Thad Busby. Keith, the other 2 strong defenses that they played. One was North Carolina. And there was another tough one, and he didn't do well against the toughest.
Clemson started to break out, and the offense rolled against Miami pretty well. This is Abdullah carrying. Khalid Abdullah back in at fullback, and on first down, he picks up about 3 yards. But when Bobby took the headset off and told Mark to go ahead and call the plays, things have accelerated some.
Yeah. Score here after 3 quarters, and the numbers, big total yardage in favor of FSU. Turnovers, both teams have gotten 7 points off of them. And Florida State with those penalties, which took away a touchdown. Take a look at Mark Richt on the left, the offensive coordinator for the Seminoles.
21-17, Florida State leading. This is Warwick Dunn. Takes a couple of hard hits at about the line of scrimmage and winds up with a yard or so.
The Seminoles.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the Seminoles had 20 more plays through the first 3 quarters and had the ball 8 minutes more than the Cavaliers did.
And right now, at this point of the ball game, you have to feel leading by 4 on the scoreboard, another touchdown could make it 11 points. That's a lot.
That's a lot for a UVA offense. It's not real potent.
14th play of the drive coming up right here. 10. That's the first down. Give you some indication right there that the Virginia defenders are getting tired. Busby ran by 2 of them. I mean, literally ran by them.
Well, there's number 9, Taylor, the middle linebacker.
He's one of them.
Only 2 men are out, and when you have only 2 guys out, you're not going to have many choices. The difference in this year's game for Florida State than last year's is that Danny Cannell last year would not scramble downfield. Busby will this year. He'll run.
Hand off to the fullback, the up man out of the I formation. And the ball moves inside the 8. Abdullah. It looked like he might have hurt a hamstring. He's now stepping up. Number 51 getting up rather slowly there is Kevin Long, the center.
He's had a bad knee, number 51. You see that knee brace that he wears. A lot of the offensive linemen will wear just a standard knee brace, and that looks like it's a little bit more than just a standard one.
Yep. Number 89, Wayne Messam. A 6'4" wide receiver is on the field now. He's at the top of the picture with Cooper. Walk done into the middle. Will move the ball to about the 6-yard line, so we'll be looking at 3rd down.
By number 9, Shannon Taylor.
It looks as if it is possible for them to get a first down without scoring, but it would be close.
Yeah. Well, this is what I mentioned earlier. Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator for George Wells' Cavaliers, this is what he wanted. Make them take a lot of plays to move it down. This drive started on the 4-yard line. What do we got? What is it? 17th play of the drive.
Same alignment. Whistle stop him.
E.G. Green calling timeout. He saw they didn't have enough time to run that play.
They were down to 1 tick, and he got it just in time with 11:42 to play in the game.
It's a key Big Ten battle when Penn State hosts Northwestern, or regional action from the Pac-10, Big 12, and ACC on an ABC college football doubleheader next Saturday.
These kind of numbers can win you a football game if you have the lead late. It also means that you're playing pretty well to have run 16 plays over that distance and not have made a mistake.
And like we said earlier about Busby, you don't have to go out and win it. Just don't lose it. You got a lot of help. And he's playing a very smart game. This may be the game that gets him over the hump.
He's 11 of 12 for 131 yards and a touchdown, looking for his second, and he put the ball right on the hands of Khalid Abdullah, and he dropped it.
Good defense. Down there inside, you're going to play a lot of tight coverage. Abdullah could have caught that pass. He only came in, only 2 receptions on the year, Abdullah. So that's not who you wanted to throw it to, but he was the outlet.
Scott Bentley is on for the field goal try now. His career long is 48. Distance is not the factor here. The mark, they got a Florida State man shaken up on the play, and down on the field, that's Andre Cooper, and they're working on that right leg. But Bentley became part of, when he first came here, he became part of the wide right story in the famous games against Miami.
Yeah. That's been a long time ago, 4 years. Yeah. He's done a lot of weightlifting, got a lot stronger. He's got a lot more confidence this year, Bentley.
Georgia Tech, which had a close one today against Central Florida. Look at that. I think they must have had a nap. But they beat Virginia in Atlanta, and that's where Florida State's going next week.
They may be looking forward to next week, Keith, thinking that they didn't have a problem in Central Florida.
Yep. North Carolina better look out tonight in Houston, too. I'm telling you, 2 or 3 people have told me that have played Houston this year say that they're no bargain. They're tough. Time still out for the injured player. Now he's up.
Cooper has 7 receptions on the day for 102 yards. He was fast year, he caught 71 passes for over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns.
This will be a 25-yard field goal try.
Time now for the Burger King College Football Play of the Day. Herschel Troutman takes the pitch. Looks like he wants to pass. Then a little spin move there and takes off 13 yards for the touchdown. 21-17. We told you Coy Detmer was out of the game. He did not return. A concussion, the problem. 21-17. Keith.
So Detmer.
Look at John Hessler. He played all of last year and did very well.
John's going to become known as the Miracle Man.
Yeah.
All right, Bentley will kick it off from the 35-yard line. Terrence Wilkins and Joe Rowe are deep for Virginia.
See if they kick it deep to him. They've run 3 kickoffs back to touchdowns this year.
Yes, he knocked it as far as he could.
Maybe their best offensive chance right here.
2 yards deep. Recovered by Virginia at the 13-yard line. Joe Rowe jumped on it. Or somebody. Joe Rowe returned it, and who was it?
52 for
52. Somebody trailing the play got it. It'd be Elegby. Wale Elegby. Just stripped it right out of Rowe's hands. And almost 52 knocked it loose.
Right there.
And Elegby.
Rowe has 2 touchdowns on the year on returns.
Well, they can do it again on the Cavalier bench, and they run it up to about the 15-yard line for a couple of yards on the carry. Tiki Barber has been pretty quiet in the second half. Tomorrow night on ABC, an hour of America's Funniest Home Videos, followed by an all-new Lois and Clark, and then Harrison Ford stars in Tom Clancy's Patriot Games, all tomorrow night on ABC. Let's see if they go back to Barber. Yep. Nothing doing. Number 96 got a piece of him when it went by. Connell Spain, the big tackle.
Spain is the emotional leader of this defense. You see, he's patting the official. He fires everybody up.
Senior from Melbourne, Florida.
If you think those plays were kind of uninteresting as far as UVA are concerned, really they're not. They're giving it to the guy that can make the play for them, and that's Tiki Barber.
3rd and 7. Crowd roaring for their defense. The pass is completed. It's close to a first down. Demetrius Dotson caught it. Depends on the spot.
Just a 3-step drop and quick passing. They've been rushed all afternoon. 4 sacks on the day. Just want to run a slant and a quick pass, and before that rush gets to you.
It's a first down.
You got to go back and give it to Tiki Barber. Either quick passing or give it to Tiki Barber. Maybe on a little swing. Get him out in the open field a little bit if you can.
7-point lead for Florida State, 24-17. Ball is at the 23 of Virginia. First down. Barber going outside. Ball coming back this way, and there's nobody over here. Now tired legs cave in. Mario Edwards.
He was the only man. Exactly. Edwards was the only one left back on this side of the field.
So Barber makes the play and gives Virginia a first down at the 46.
Tiki Barber is the hope. 20 carries, 143 yards. And he has done something to this Florida State defense that no other runner has been able to do. And that is rush for 100 yards 3 straight years against them.
Peter Boulware is off the field defensively for Florida State, having leg cramp troubles. And Lynn Swan told us that that's what was bothering Abdullah, the fullback. Thomas Jones is in the backfield now for Virginia. Tim Sherman back throwing, going deep. Look out, could be picked off. Almost picked off. The guy that kept him from Dexter Jackson from intercepting the ball was the intended receiver, Brian Owen.
Exactly. Trying to go deep. Sherman throwing on first down. One receiver going down. He's really not open because number 11, Jackson, who was a high school quarterback, switched to defensive back, should have caught it. But Owen does a nice job of breaking it up. Mickey Andrews is really high on Jackson. He thinks he's going to be the next great DB around here.
Second down and 10. Sherman. He wanted to pitch the ball, but the Florida State defender stepped between him and the...
I would have pitched it.
There's a gamble.
Oh, if you got Barber back there, you pitch it.
I thought the guy was right between him, and you might lose it. Alabama, Tennessee's tied now, so they got a pretty good war up there in the foothills today, and Texas has come back to lead Colorado, 24-21. Ball is right on midfield, where it is 3rd and 7. Pass play.
There they come.
He threw it hard. Dotson caught it, but it's well short of the first down. And Sherman's laying there trying to sort things out and see whether or not his body will let him get up. And it may not, because he took a lick. It is about a 3 yards short of a first down, and now while we're waiting here for Mr. Sherman to get some air back in him, let's join John Saunders.
Now I got plenty of air in me, Keith. Texas against Colorado, and Texas trying to steal one on the road. James Brown 2 yards to Matt Davis, and they regain the lead. It's now 24-21. Texas leads the Buffs. Keith.
That would be something of an upset, I'd say, especially in Boulder.
Well, there's no question that Texas is a good ball club. They just had some bumps along the way.
Well, Notre Dame broke their heart, and Virginia kicked them sideways.
Boulware gets a little bit of a late hit right there. Yeah, that'll knock the wind out of you.
And 15 seconds to play in the football game. Will Bryce is in the punt now. They need another big one from him. It's 4th down and at least 4. They're saying 5, maybe. They snap it up front to Medley, the fullback, and they eat him up. And the Seminoles get the football at the 47-yard line. They took a chance. Didn't care much for it either, because there's a lot of time to play in the football game. And now here's Florida State at their own 47. College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Discus Athletic Activewear. Discus Athletic, the one thing to wear for every sport. By Circuit City, the choice for price, selection, and service. And Chili's Grill and Bar, home of the Big Mouth Burgers.
Well, Florida State was not fooled on that last punt formation little trickery.
Shotgun, low snap, giving it up. Preston trying to get around the corner, and the Cavaliers' pursuit gets him 2 yards at the most.
Here's a look. I think this is what was George was upset about. There's a 3 linebackers. When they're lined up like that, you call it off. When you call it, when you want it, is everybody's up here in these gaps, and they're coming. But when you see the linebackers standing up like that, you call the fake punt off, and you go ahead and punt it.
Who calls it off?
The fullback, the up back, somebody calls it off, either the punter or somebody. But George is saying, they weren't even rushing. You should have called it off.
Well, it's 2nd down and 9 right here for the Seminoles as they go back to the conventional line formation and give it to Abdullah, the fullback. And he's very close to a first down as he bursts Virginia defense now very obviously tired.
I think you're exactly right, Keith. What we said early on for Florida State, Busby, you don't have to win it, just don't lose it. He's had an outstanding day. And the nation's top second defense against Barber, he has done pretty well. They have not stopped him, but they've overcome. One of the real stories in this game is the punting of Will Bryce. They've overcome that.
Check the chains for the first down. It's close, but not quite.
Said we needed a big day from the special teams. Well, Bryce has done that. He has put them back inside their own 20-yard line on several times, and they need takeaways. They got 2 fumble recoveries and an interception that led to 7 points, so they got 3 turnovers. They just didn't convert enough of them at this point. We have 7 minutes left in the ball game. The thing that has not been there is the UVA offense. They have not done much today. Tiki Barber, the one long run, and that's been it.
Bobby's going to be 67 next month. They're down and that's the first down on the quarterback sneak. Clock starts now on the spot of the ball at 6:32 to play in the ball game, and the Seminoles 24-17, and time permitting, 50 Cardinal College Football postgame report. John and Todd will have just stories from around the country.
All the stories. Bobby has been the National Coach of the Year 4 different years. He's won a lot of ball games. In fact, he's the second winningest active coach behind Joe Pa up in Penn State.
He's getting on somebody's case a little bit here. Something going on that he didn't care for. On first down from the 43-yard line, it's Rock Preston. And look out. Oh, he may be headed for Hallelujah Land. Touchdown, Florida State. Preston turned in a dazzling 42-yard touchdown run. He's liable to be the man next year. That tailback spot, he certainly will be one of them. Bentley for the extra point now. Play in the game. Florida State 31, Virginia 17.
There'll be a toss to that side. Kevin Long is down there. Watches all the Virginia players are over, going to run it. Poindexter, number 3. Look who's down there throwing the block now. My quarterback, Busby.
Yeah, but he went down there where the little guy was.
He might have found the little one. A low number.
In every young person's life, they've got bridges to cross. Thad Busby may have crossed one of his today with a 25 for 36, 316-yard performance.
Peter Boulware led the charge for the Seminoles. 3 sacks, the number 2 defense in the country.
Messam took his game off the website, off the internet, and put it back on the football field where it belongs. He's had a great afternoon.
Kick is into the end zone. Comes back out to the 20-yard line. Had a bit of a scuffle on the field, and they separated and no flags are thrown. So put it on the 20 for the Cavaliers, and they are right now at their last gasp. Tim Sherman comes out at quarterback. Has a man. That's Crowell. He gets it up around the 38-yard line for a first down.
Sherman is a fifth-year senior who has sat for 4 years. He sat behind Grohl, who was the quarterback last year, and it was a battle between he and Brooks coming in. Virginia has had a history of playing fifth-year quarterbacks and doing well with them.
5:41 to play as Sherman steps up and throws and almost intercepted. Sean Key was almost in the end zone with that football before they could take a breath. Here's 20.
Peter Boulware has been on the sidelines on first and second down situations. His legs cramped up here in the second half. The coaches have elected only to put him in on third down and use him in those situations. So it's now second down, but it's obvious passing situation, so he's back into the ball game, Keith.
Well, it was about, what was it, 85 degrees when we started today, wasn't it? So there's a lot of people have had trouble with cramps.
This would be a good time to play right now.
Yeah, it would. Barber pops it over the right side, and Tiki picks up 7. Clock running at 5:20 to play. Timeouts. Virginia has all 3.
Raynard Wilson, the other end, he's all-time sack leader. They call him Big Country because his dad owns a farm.
Little quick pass is dropped. Demetrius Dotson couldn't get it.
Dotson, just a true freshman. They need some skill players, wide receivers.
Tonight, only on ESPN at 7 Eastern Time, Miami Hurricanes, who took a whipping last week from East Carolina, faces undefeated West Virginia. Don Nehlen's ball club doing very well this year.
Yeah, aren't they?
Butch Davis fussing all week over the performance by his team last week against East Carolina. Tonight at 7 on ESPN. Will Bryce is in the punt now. He hammered that thing. Oh, my goodness, they're going to kill it way down there. Whoa, almost bobbled it and almost rolled into the end zone, but they finally put it down at the 1-yard line.
That kid could play for me anytime, that punter.
53 yards and no return, dead on the 1.
Florida is idle. Nebraska is playing a little bit later on. Tennessee and Alabama are tied. Colorado's losing to Texas. Northwestern pulled another one out.
I presume Ohio State went ahead to win handily in Iowa.
Yep. Penn State won. They had a little trouble earlier with Indiana.
Yeah, they won. They scored 48 points.
Southern Mississippi is on the Florida State schedule. Where is that game played?
Here.
Played here. Okay.
You're not going to go away.
Yeah, play Southern Mississippi.
You just don't do it. That's
well, Florida State has to go next week to Georgia Tech in Atlanta. That won't be an easy one. And they got Southern Miss, and then they got Florida here at the end of the year.
Warwick Dunn, Khalid Abdullah in the end zone, and Busby just takes it, tries to hang on to the big old lineman and ride it out for a couple of 3 yards. It's now 38-26, and they've got, there's a good bit of time remaining in that.
Iowa's really come back, haven't they?
Yes, they have. And Tennessee now has gone out on top of Alabama by 7. Knoxville.
Well, if Florida State takes care of business and Florida continues to roll, there'll be a pretty good ball game here Thanksgiving Saturday.
Sure.
I think last week in the off week, Florida State had some thoughts about Florida and some of the things they might have been doing, Keith. Working on their wide receivers and working on their defensive back coming up and bumping wide receivers, working on the jam, getting away from the bump, and working on the bump. Those types of things, when you play good teams like Florida, to do.
Yeah, the corners will have a considerable burden on that particular Saturday, won't they? Indeed. Of course, the burden is lessened some if you're at Boulware and Wilson can get into the...
You've got two defensive ends that can rush like Wilson and Boulware, and a couple of corners that can cover for a short period of time. You don't have to cover from very long.
This will be good to about the 8-yard line as Warwick Dunn trying to find some daylight and produce the big play. They had to get out past the 11 to get their first down. Time call by James Knight for a charge of timeout to Virginia. So they spend one of their 3 times out with 3:02 to play in the ball game. All right, here comes your punt. Out of the end zone.
Well,
by Sean Liss.
If Virginia can either block this, do some good, or run it back, which they've done this year, their special teams have been outstanding.
Tiki Barber is waiting just beyond midfield. They need a big one from Liss, and they get one. He delivered this time all the way back to the 40. And just barely covered it at the 42. Whee! The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game for Virginia. Tiki Barber, running back, 21 carries, 150 yards, and 1 touchdown. Florida State, Thad Busby, 25 out of 36, 316 yards or maybe more before it's done. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's General Scholarship Fund to help outstanding students in their academic achievements and help those in financial need. A Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter-century.
It's been a tough year so far for Busby, but I think this one, they just put him over the top and...
Sherman hooks up to Crowell, and he gets past the corner and goes down the sidelines all the way down to the 23-yard line.
The Cavaliers are saying, we're not out of this yet. Crowell just going to go down and run a little out down the sideline and then up. The defensive back on that side just slipped. Yeah, he slipped. But that was 15.
That's a big play. And you got a timeout, stopping the clock at 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Virginia's got 2 timeouts remaining. Florida State 1 now. And Virginia owns the football. First down, down around the 23-yard line of Florida State. Here's Swannick.
You know, this rivalry has really taken off between Virginia and Florida State. Virginia was the only team to beat Florida State, so they're going to commemorate it in the ACC. They're going to commemorate this rivalry with a new trophy, the Jefferson Epps Trophy. And the first year, it goes to Virginia with that upset win for 1995. And that's Thomas Jefferson and Francis Epps. Epps is related to Jefferson and came down to Tallahassee and actually was an administrator at the original school that became Florida State. Keith?
All right. For those who don't know, and it's amazing how many don't know, it was Thomas Jefferson who pounded, refined, defined, recruited the first faculty, served as the first rector, and was the man in charge when Virginia opened in 1825. And his idea was to produce a different kind of person. Most of the universities at that time were producing teachers and ministers. And it was the practical application to life that Jefferson wanted, and that's why he founded Virginia. On first down, back goes Sherman. He throws it down the middle. The pass is caught. It is a touchdown for the Cavaliers.
Great throw and catch.
Boyle goes high in the air at 6'4" and hauls it down.
Florida State goes to a 3-man line. They're dropping 8 guys in the secondary. Crowell just goes straight up the field, is covered, but makes the play between 2 defensive backs. That's Jackson and Colby. That's his 6th catch.
And Jackson is hurt. He took a knee into the rib cage. I saw that. He is shaken up. But it is the touchdown, and you've got 2 minutes and 43 seconds to play in the game. And it's now 31-23.
going to come from the left side, top left of your screen, right down the middle of the field. That's a nice play by Crowell. He knew he was going to get hit, and he got into the end zone. Now the decision for George Welsh is, do I onside kick or do I kick it deep? We have 2 timeouts left.
Yep. We went through a double overtime last week, so let us see what we shall see as Jackson comes off the field.
Keith and Bob, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Will Bryce come back out and punt. Remember, he punted after a touchdown in the first half, and the intent at that time was for him to pooch punt it, get it up in the air, let one of the up guys who would not be familiar catching a punt try and catch it and maybe create the turnover that way. So don't be surprised if Bryce is the guy who's kicking off after this extra point attempt.
You like him, Lenny? You think he should be a high draft choice in the NFL?
Bob, depending on what teams are playing on, what their needs are, if you can't fulfill a major need on your team, I'd make a guy like this a first-round pick.
No.
So great field position. Absolutely. Great guy was.
The extra point try by Garcia, the young man from Spain, native son of España, makes the extra point. It's a 7-point difference in the ball game. Let's worry about the NFL after we settle the issue here in college football.
Well, you can be sure that the guys on the other side of the field, there's a look at Bryce, the punter. You can be sure that the guys, the Florida State guys, thought they had this one wrapped up. And with that long pass completion to Crowell down the sideline and then the touchdown throw, this game is still up for grabs.
So he may be into the onside mode here because Whitney Majors is out there right now. He's a sophomore.
Yeah, this kid may be the specialist, the onside kick specialist right here.
Or he may be a sidewinding soccer kicker that can knock it out of town.
Not the way he's got that ball sitting.
No, you're right.
That ball's sitting for
a bouncer.
For a bouncer, that's right. Of course, Florida State's got all their good hands people out there.
2 minutes and 43 seconds and two timeouts remaining for the Cavaliers.
You don't have to put the ball on the tee. You can lean it against it just like that.
There it is. Here's your bounce right into the arms of a Seminole, E.G. Green. And he wraps his body around it.
You put all your receivers and your running backs, all the guys with the good hands out there. What you're hoping for is a huge hop right on the next bounce to go about 15 feet in the air, but you're not going to get it. Look at that. The Seminoles, 3 or 4 of them went up to block, and E.G. Green dropped back to fall on the ball. That's just good planning and execution by the Seminoles.
And the receiving team does not have to wait for the ball to travel 10 yards. You can go get it.
Yeah, you can.
So it's Seminole ball, first down at the Virginia 47.
Well, the Seminoles are going to have to make some first downs. Virginia has 2 timeouts left.
Warwick Dunn has the ball. And he's down to near the 44, 43 maybe. Regained the lead from Texas at 27-24, so it looks like John Hessler's having another one of those days.
He is. Yep, he can play.
There's the faithful. 80,000.
Virginia
237.
Virginia is used to these close games. They had 8 games that were decided by less than a touchdown last year. Last few minutes of the game.
Done. Right down on the 45-yard line. Poindexter and Sharper on that hit.
We haven't heard much from Poindexter today.
He's been there, though, I'll tell you.
Sharper is 33 and Poindexter number 3.
A couple of times he put some knots on people. He takes a lot of room for a 6'1", 202-pound sophomore.
Yeah, Poindexter had 3 interceptions last week in their win. He was a linebacker most of last year, was shifted to free safety.
North Carolina gets out early over Houston down in Texas. Ball is right on the 45-yard line. 3rd down and 8. 1:52 seconds to play in the ball game. 7-point lead for Florida State on homecoming. The Virginia Cavaliers defensive people, the offense ought to hold the door for them all week.
Well, that's the makeup of this team, Keith. They've lost, like I mentioned, 3 offensive linemen, and 2 of them were all conference off this team last year. Their 2 starting wide receivers and their quarterback. And the defense has just carried this team along with their special teams. But it's the defense that has to come up with something right here to try and give one more chance.
First down.
The bad news is for Florida State is he went out of bounds and stopped the clock.
Yep. At 1:45 to play in the game. Each team with a timeout remaining.
Virginia was blitzing the free safety up the middle, so the line was slanting to the outside and forced him out of bounds.
Here's where Sean Liss wants an ugly punt.
He just wants it in the end zone. You don't want to give the punt returner a chance.
High knuckleball. Forcing the fair catch at the 19-20-yard line. Didn't get it as deep as you wanted. Tiki Barber handled the catch all right. And so here are the Cavaliers, 80 yards away from the promised land. Trailing by 7, 31-24. 1 timeout and 1:37 seconds remaining.
We've got the number 2 defense in the country for Florida State.
Crawford, however, just came off the field. Starting linebacker.
The guys that can make the plays for Virginia are Tiki Barber and Crowell.
Pressure chasing him, and he was on the run, throwing the ball out of bounds, incomplete. Peter Boulware was coming up his back, and Bernard Wilson was coming from the other direction.
Wilson was coming from one side, Boulware from the other. Wilson used to wrestle alligators as he was growing up. Remember, he caught one, he threw it in the pond in his dad's farm, and his mother didn't like it in the pond because she wanted the fish, so he went in and got the alligator out. Said, where do you want it?
She said, out of town.
Well, anywhere but in my pond.
2nd down and 10. Sherman needs to get rid of it. He does, and it's downfield over everybody's head. It is incomplete. And Sherman is buried under Darrell Bush. And you've got 1:25 seconds to play in the game. In a dogfight, 31-24. Florida State leading. Virginia led at halftime, 17-14. The Virginia offense, though, only flared up briefly and momentarily here in the 4th quarter when they went quickly downfield and got a quick touchdown to make it a 7-point ball game. But they have hung in, and they have a chance. Sherman puts it high in the air. The ball is slapped away. An incomplete forward pass. Samari Roll goes up and knocks it down. It is 4th and 10 for Virginia.
So Virginia just won't go away. Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator.
Virginia has Duke next. Florida State goes to Georgia Tech next weekend. 4th down. The last gasp is here. Sherman's pass is intercepted by James Colsey. And be careful, they're going to get a flag here. There's a Florida State man down the field, but he's all right apparently. Getting up slowly. Now there's your flag. They're going to get him for celebrating. This will be the second time in the ball game they've done it. A minute 10 to play in the game now, and Florida State will own the football. That's Greg Spires being helped off the field for Florida State. And they'll miss him because he's a big backup lineman who's played a lot today.
Well, it's 4th down, and as a quarterback, you see he's got nothing left in the pocket, so just get out and let somebody get open. Colsey cuts in front of the receiver. That's a great play by a 4th-year senior. James Colsey got the start today. Owen coming across the field. Colsey looks back. He sees it. Tries to spread out. Nice play on the ball.
And so the penalty puts the football back at the 44-yard line of Virginia, where the Seminoles have it, 1st down. And George pushes the cap back. They've got 1 timeout. And they should spend it right about here if they choose to. The clock is running now, coming up on a minute to play. And as we pull back, this big crowd will start to move out of the stadium. And they've had a good time. It's been a good football game.
It has been a great game, Keith, and as far as one-dimensional as UVA's offense is, and that is Tiki Barber, they don't have much of a passing game. For as one-dimensional that it is, this game was awfully close. 24 points were scored, and like we've been saying, their defense contributes, sets them up with good field position, and so does their special teams.
So the Seminoles ranked number 3 in one poll, number 2 in another poll, and they will continue undefeated. The Virginia Cavaliers will be losing their 2nd game of the season, but this is a pretty good football team that lives in Charlottesville. Clock stops now at 25 seconds.
They will always be known as a team that beat the first one to beat Florida State in the ACC. Game last year in Charlottesville, and they did not disgrace themselves here today.
Well, the string is going to continue that Bobby Bowden, since he came to Florida State, has never lost a homecoming game, and he still hasn't. He has become a legend since he came down to Tallahassee from Morgantown, West Virginia. He grew up just a stone's throw from Legion Field in Birmingham, Woodlawn High School, and then he went off to Howard University, or Samford, which it became eventually, and there was where he first coached after he had been at South Georgia College in Douglas. He said he was coaching everything, including basketball, and he was so bad in basketball they had to fire him so. But he has become a wonderful, warm personality in the coaching profession and produced a lot of great football.
And he is great for college football. He is one of the bright and shining spotlights for college football.
And for George Welch, of course, he has his own place. And it's certainly strong. So here's your final score from Tallahassee. Florida State 31, Virginia 24, and here's John Saunders.
He's Texas trying to march in and grab the lead over Colorado. James Brown is back to pass. Looks one way, pumps it, and is picked off by Steve Rosga. And that will just about seal the victory. But a minute and a half to go. 28-24 Colorado. Steve.
24 points for Virginia. That in itself is quite startling. But let me remind you tomorrow, well, let's first look look at the ACC standings, you see Florida State's now 5-0. Virginia drops to 4-2. North Carolina's in a non-conference game tonight. They are 4-1. But the Atlantic Coast Conference, if you're coming this way, bring your hard hat. They're pretty tough. Tomorrow, don't miss final round coverage of the Tour Championship. Tom Leben, 13 under, leads the field. Tomorrow at 3 Eastern on ABC Sports.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.